Still can't post to Facebook. Temporarily blocked.
I tell
Fuckers.
you, they're not going to remove it unless you ask them to.
Yeah, fuck them. Hey, how are you? Welcome to GameHounds Podcast. We are complaining about the continuing saga of us making the mistake of playing 1 minute and 16 seconds of NBC. Completely legitimate, fair use of 1 minute and 16 seconds of NBC Olympic coverage.
Mm-hmm.
Completely legitimate, fair use. But yeah,
Don't tell that to Facebook.
don't tell that to Facebook.
Yeah.
We will see how long this goes on for. Hey, you got Miles Tails. Hey, Miles, how you doing? Hey, you guy. I'm assuming you meant gang. So, I am. You are warned. I am sick. Last night it started. It's not. Definitely not COVID. It is a stomach bug, and it started. I was just firing up the PlayStation. I'm like, okay, I had a couple of soju's, and I was like, I'm feeling pretty good. Had dinner, and I don't know whether it was something that I ate. It's the first time I've actually eaten vegetables in a while, fresh vegetables in a while, uh, and made my own meal. Don't know if it was something I ate. Doubt it. Or if it's genuinely I caught something, or if it's some stomach upset, but I am sick. Like sick, like food poisoning sick. I don't know if it is food poisoning. I doubt it. I made my food. I know it was fresh,
Yeah.
but
Yeah. I mean, I've had it like a cramp stomach ache all day, but I think that's just because I made tacos last night and I think I just ate too many.
yeah, that's totally different. Yeah, that's not this.
Yeah.
This was
No,
like
it's not that. I'm just saying, yeah, because I've been doing the same thing of like, did I eat something that was expired? No, wait a minute. I bought all that stuff.
Mhm.
Like going
Yeah.
through the process. No, that was good. That's
Stuff
good.
I got
That's
I
good.
got I got delivered yesterday, and the only culprit that I can think of was the cucumber. I made myself a cucumber salad, and that's the
Hmm.
only culprit that I can think that it might be. But yeah, sick. So if I run away, it is because I'm having a brown alert. So
It's funny.
I'm not even gonna like warn you. It's gonna be like I disappear.
Okay. I distinctly remember playing games last night and getting the little notice that Gamer Edie is online.
Right. I was there for like
And
maybe
that's
30 seconds.
yeah. And it's funny, like I can remember exactly when that was.
Yep. So yeah, in fact, as I'm lying in bed at 3 o'clock in the morning trying to go to sleep because my stomach hurts so bad, and like being afraid to go to sleep because of what I might wake up to, um,
Mm.
I saw that you had gotten online. I got a little notice. It's like bling, Evil Elsop Live. It's online. It's like, oh man, no. I'm just gonna lie here and curl up in the fetal position. So
Yeah.
yeah, AC Ray says I polished off the ham slices we got yesterday. My stomach is fine, but my housemate might be planning murder. Oh
Did
yeah, if
you
you finish, yeah.
steal them from him? You're
When you
one of
say
those
the ham
housemates?
slices, do you mean his ham slices?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, because that's justifiable homicide. Just saying.
for
It's
shame.
true. I could be the ham. It could be. I had some ham in that little bits of ham in
Yeah.
the salad. So I could be that. Could be the mushrooms. I don't know. Anyway, so let's not talk about my situation. Let's talk about doing the show. We don't have an Andrew. Andrew's not answering his phone. He is not answering texts. So I'm assuming that he has slept through because he works usually late to early in the morning.
And I think last time we were playing Back for Blood, he had said something about like getting a night shift.
Yeah, he has a night shift.
So
And he works like a day shift then comes home, crashes for 2 hours, and goes back and does a night shift. So I know that that's what he did last week. I was like, "Is this a thing?" And he's like, "No, no, no." So I don't know if he did it again or what, but we haven't been
which is
able to raise him. Either
which
that
is
or
a
he's
shame
murdered.
because
It's
he
highly
has.
possible.
Oh, sorry.
It's a shame because why?
He has big news that he could show off on the podcast. That would
Oh,
be
yes, he
happy.
does. Happy news. I
Yeah,
I might I might just I have the videos, right? He sent them to us on text.
they send videos. I thought he only sent pictures.
Was it pictures or was it videos? I have to look. I knew you sent a video. Now that was
Mm-hmm.
Shepard. Oh, the photos are not showing up, unfortunately. So,
Yeah, the
yeah,
photos.
we'll leave that news for him. So, shall we start the podcast in earnest?
Sure.
All right. Wow, you're looking awful again. Your video feed looking real
Oh,
bad.
I don't know. Like I'm not downloading anything, and I'm plugged in with a cable.
Are you sure it's using the plugged in with the cable?
I have the symbol.
Check your
It says it is.
preferences to make sure that it's using that, not Wi-Fi. Yeah,
I mean,
because
I can't.
you look Wi-Fi bad.
Okay, I can't tell if it's using one or not because both of them say Ethernet. It says connected. My Wi-Fi says secured. So
Right, but it's probably using Wi-Fi. Can you turn the Wi-Fi off?
turn Wi-Fi. Oh wait, it says Wi-Fi is turned off.
Oh, okay.
Turn Wi-Fi back on manually. No, turn it back on in an hour.
Huh. It might just be your internet then. Oh yeah, thank you very much, AC Wraith. Patreon's there. I'm sorry, I'm so like low energy.
Yeah, I'm not connected.
Yeah. All right, cool. Well then let's do this.
Discusses video games, modern culture, and technology, and these podcasters are big fat potty mouths. If you're younger than 18 or are easily offended, please stop this podcast now. Oh, and your mom says to take out the trash and do your homework.
All right, mics are hot. Hello and welcome to GameHounds. Oh, it looks like we are not working. Oh, crap. We're going to have to stop this and
Oh,
start it over. You're okay. Looks like I am just all kinds of bad. So let me stop the show. Let me stop that and we will be back. Yeah, I think I need to restart Spreaker because I don't have any waveforms. I think it's just solid. So I think that it's all bad. Let's try it again. Because I didn't check my levels, and that's the way things are going to go. Check, check. Okay, we got levels. So let's start this over. It's Facebook just coming after us to make my life hell. That's what it is. Facebook is so angry they're going to fuck up the podcast entirely.
I had to get a new credit card the other day because let me know if you suddenly can't access Amazon Prime. Turns out I've been paying for Amazon Prime since last December, but it's not on my account.
Oh, really?
My account does not have Amazon Prime. I made sure of that. So I was
Oh, are
like,
you going to talk to Amazon about that?
I did. I already did.
And they're going to give
I
you a refund?
well, I talked to Amazon. They were able to link the payments with a specific account, and they couldn't tell me who it was, but I just kind of rattled off everybody that I knew, for the past several years, and they're like, "Yeah, it doesn't belong to any of them." So they put a lock on that account. So that person has to, will have to talk to Amazon. Then I talked to Chase, the bank, and they canceled those payments. They'll refund me for those, and then they'll send me a new card.
Was it anyone buying stuff on your Amazon card?
No, it was Amazon Prime. Because all the transactions, I was
Weird.
like, yes, that's a transaction I recognize. That's a transaction I recognize. But Amazon Prime, I was like, wait, it's recurring each month, $13. It's like, wait, but I don't have it.
That's really weird.
It is. I thought about texting a bunch of people being like, hey, are you using my credit card for Amazon? But then I was like, probably not. And it's probably safer to just cancel it first. And then, if it turns out, oh, hey, I guess I bought you a Prime subscription for someone, then to like just redo that. 'Cause I can't remember
Interesting.
doing that. And
Thursday, Nick did DJ Phil Collins says it's Thursday. Nick's doing it.
it could be.
Yeah.
Well, the funny thing is, I've been paying for that since last December. Since last December, that's the only transaction that I don't recognize.
Interesting.
Because I keep track of everything, and everything else is on the up and up. It's someone stole my credit
How?
card just to pay for Prime.
Very strange. Well, let me start the show again, and then we can start a regular thing.
Yeah. So let's blame Facebook for that too.
Sure, why not?
Fucking Zuckerberg stole my card to get Amazon Prime.
Technology. And these podcasters are big fat potty mouths. If you're younger than 18 or are easily offended, please stop this podcast now. Oh, and your mom says to take out the trash and do your homework.
All right, mics are hot.
I just want to say fuck you, Mark Zuckerberg, for stealing my credit card to pay for Amazon Prime. It's like not like you got $1 billion to do it yourself. Pay for your own damn entertainment.
Aw. Welcome to GameHounds episode 607. We are recording on Sunday, August 22nd, 2021. I'm Edie Sellers. With me is Nick DiNicola. We do not have an Andrew today. We don't know where he is, but Nick is pissed because somebody's been charging Amazon Prime on his credit card since December.
Watch out.
Nothing else, just Amazon Prime.
Zuckerberg's coming for your Netflix next.
We blame Facebook. Yeah, we're still fighting
know what?
with Facebook.
He might have kidnapped Andrew too.
I would not put it past him, fucker.
Yeah.
So, how are you?
I'm good. Yeah. AC Wraith said that Log Horizon, I guess, is free for Amazon Prime subscriptions.
Mhm.
I do have Amazon Prime on the TV because I'm logged in through someone else's account. Like I'm using their account for that. They're using my Peacock
You are
account.
such a fucking penny pincher. You really are. You are the biggest penny pincher I know.
I share accounts with a bunch of people.
Yeah. Still. So today
I can't watch it.
I am sick. I have had a hell of a week. A really, really bad week. On Tuesday, I burnt myself eating a burrito, and you can see it on the channel on the live stream video. You can still see that it's like I burnt like a hole in my lip.
Yeah, it's like there's one character in Mass Effect or something that's got like a little line there. Look like that.
Yep, that was a burrito burn. And that was on Tuesday. And you can, if it's still here on Sunday, you know how badly I burnt it. Like I burnt it where it was like, oh, that's not good. It was a blister. And I'm like,
how'd you burn it on a burrito?
It's a really hot burrito.
Like
it was molten on the inside.
Ooh.
It was.
That's not a burrito. That's a hot pocket.
Yeah, it is Tostino's pizza roll hot inside. And burnt my lip. And then last night I was sitting down. I'm like, all right, I got a day to myself, made myself a very nice bowl of spaghetti, of Japanese spaghetti, and a nice salad, nice cucumber salad on the side, and a bottle of soju, and had eaten dinner. I was like, all right, I'm gonna like cruise some games and play something for tomorrow's show because I really haven't played much. And turned on the PlayStation and my gut immediately said, "You're not going anywhere but the bathroom, and you're going to do it right now." I have been sick all night. I don't know if it was food poisoning off of one of the vegetables or what it was, but or maybe just no, because this is not lactose intolerance. Uh, Something hit my stomach and came right back out both ends, just sick as hell, and have been all night and all day so far. So if I disappear off the show, that's what I'm doing, to be honest.
Good to know.
Yeah. So so yeah. How's things with you, Nick? Other than your credit card getting horked by
Uh,
Amazon Prime user.
better. Like, honestly, it's just, hey, cancel those transactions, get a refund, get a new card. I
Yeah.
s- the only hassle is like I had to make a list of, okay, what are all the recurring payment subscription things that I'm signed up for, and like making a list of all of those, and then realize, okay, once I get the new card, I've got to go back and update everything, which is a hassle, but not that big in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah.
Health wise, I am not sick with the stomach flu. I'm doing pretty well.
Good. So, what you been playing? I tried to play something last night, was completely unsuccessful.
What would you have played if you could have played something?
Well, I had logged in and started Warframe. I had actually started up Warframe, and then my guts went to liquid. So, I don't know,
Well, see,
maybe it was
that's the answer. There it is. It was Warframe.
Yeah, I actually and I would have been in it, but there was an update, so I had to wait for Warframe to update. And it was while I was waiting for the Warframe to update, and it's like, "Oh, it's up." And I hit, start, and it was like, "Oh, I need to go elsewhere." So,
It's
yeah,
a sign.
it's
It's a
a
sign.
sign, man.
Yep.
I tried. I tried AC Wraith. I really tried.
You were physically repelled by it.
My was. So yeah, I tried Warframe for I got to log in. What have you been playing?
I have been playing mostly the same things. A lot
Mhm.
of Returnal. I'm doing
Mhm.
some of that every night, and that remains a really, really good game. Um, there's more permanent progression systems in there than it appears initially, which is good. I talked about before how there are kind of sets of 3 levels. Like you go through 3, fight a boss, and then you kind of enter into another 3. Um, the thing is, you do restart each run, but oh, I heard
Sorry.
something.
Sorry.
Okay, but your guns are the things that kind of retain a lot of their upgrades across playthroughs. Not that one gun will always have the same upgrade, but the thing is, when you find a weapon, you'll find the weapon, it'll have the stats, and it might have a modification on it. Let's say it's a portal gun. And so, as you're shooting, a little portal will open up next to you and shoot a beam at enemies. Maybe it's an enlarged chamber where you just get more ammo for a rocket launcher. Maybe it's something like serrated bullets that do more damage. Every gun has its own unique set of mods. When you first pick up a gun, uh, those mods are locked. There's a little lock symbol right next to it, and you have to kill a certain number of enemies in order to unlock that modification for that gun. And then it enters into a pool so that if you find that gun on future runs, there's a chance that it will have that modification attached to it. All of those mods for all those weapons are really good. So the more mods you have, like the better the gun. As I was playing through one set of levels, I was just kind of hitting this wall in this one level. Like I just kept playing through it and dying and playing through it and dying. And the enemy just seemed like he was always kicking my ass. And so I went online and looked for some tips and looked up a video about his movements, how he attacks, the patterns of all these things. But then I saw someone offering a tip like if you're having trouble, just grind out weapon mods. And as it turns out is it reminds me a lot of Monster Hunter in that Monster Hunter is an RPG, but it's an RPG where your stats don't increase because of levels or because you level up. They increase because you get better armor and weapons. You go out, you kill a monster, you craft some armor. Then that allows you to go out, kill a stronger monster, craft stronger armor, and all that. That's kind of what Returnal is, where you can grind out these mods. Just find a gun that has a locked mod, kill some enemies, unlock that mod. And you do that more and more with a single gun type, and you'll start getting level 2 versions of those mods, which do the
Mhm.
same thing but are stronger. So you do that enough times, and eventually you get to a point where you're picking up guns that are just stronger than they were, several runs ago.
Mhm.
And so doing that over and over again eventually led to a moment where I realized, oh shit, like the level I got stuck on is one where there are 3 paths, and you have to go down each path, defeat a kind of big fight at the end of each path to get 3 keys. And so just playing and playing and playing, and I realized, oh shit, I have 2 keys. This is more than I've ever gotten in a run. I've always like died. I've never gotten 1 key. Now I
Mhm.
have 2. It's like, oh shit, I'm doing really good. And of course, then you start psyching yourself out. But on that run, I got 3 keys. I was able to, open the door and sort of progress to the next area after that. And that's what a lot of the progression of this game feels like is, you're playing, you're playing, you're playing, and then all of a sudden, oh shit, I beat a boss. It's like playing, playing, playing. Oh shit, I just did this. Um, just last night, I beat the boss of Biome 6, excuse me, on my first try. And a lot of that is because I spent a lot of my time going
Grinding
through
out.
grinding out those weapon mods, and then also I found a mod weapon that I knew was really good that had like 2 portal turrets that opened up. And so as I'm fighting the boss, I'm just kind of shooting blindly and dodging, and as I'm shooting, these turrets are opening up and doing a lot of the damage for me. They know where to hit the boss's weak points. I'm just like, I'm dodging all this shit. I'm not paying attention. Um, and so those are exciting. Those lead to very exciting moments where, you know, I'm just every run now, I'm just thinking, okay, I'm just going to grind out some mods. Every run is I'm going to pick up a gun that has a little gray symbol and use it until it unlocks, and then pick up a new gun. And then after a couple hours or so, I suddenly realize, oh shit, I just made a whole bunch of progress. And it's a good feeling. I will say, I saw credits. So, I beat a boss, I saw some story stuff, cutscene, and then the credits ran. But I know there were trophies for beating Act 1, 2, and 3. And I got the trophy for beating Act 2, but not 3. And the game is still going. So I don't know exactly why they decided to show credits in the middle of the game because like there's clearly
Weird.
after the credits, I went back into the game and it said there are still more secrets to unlock. And I'm like, well, then why the fuck did you show credits? It's like there's some narrative revelation there, but it's also not fully clear. Like, well, what is the nature of this planet? What is going on? But I said before last week that I was really impressed at how it manages to walk this tightrope between being a intimate character study of this woman and being a kind of cosmic horror mystery about this alien race. And as I'm watching some of this cutscene, part of me is worried that, oh shit, are they going to pull a Jacob's ladder? And it turns out this is all in her head and it's all like a symbolic representation of trauma. No, I don't think so.
Good.
I
Good.
really don't. And I'm glad because I feel like that's always kind of a easy
Cop
way
out.
out. Yeah. Um, so that makes me even more curious about what the nature of the planet is and the loop and all that. But I'm still really loving the story, really loving the act of playing the game. The weapons are all very interesting, and as I unlock more and more mods for them, they become more and more unique and fun to use. So yeah, Returnal is still a hell of a game.
Yeah, EC Wraith says, in other words, persistent stats that I hate, but hidden across multiple weapon drops.
Yeah,
Pretty
and
much.
and
Sounds like
yeah,
it.
and that's why it took kind of me reading about it online to realize it, because like your stats, you don't have any stats that increase that stay increased per run. You can increase your health and all that, but it all gets reset at the end of run. But specifically the weapon modifications don't. And so it's a bit of permanent progression on an item that is not immediately obvious, but it does have a very significant impact on gameplay.
So, sounds cool.
Yeah. I've also kept playing Vigil the Longest Night. That is still a neat game. There's a I spent a long the funny thing is I have no idea how long I've been playing it, because I I was playing it, I put the Switch into sleep mode, and then, a day or so later, I woke the Switch up, kept playing, saved my game, and it said I've been playing for like 72 hours,
Oh, wow.
because
Oh,
it
because it was
it
open.
kept going when the Switch was asleep.
Got it.
Uh, so that's a little weird, but I feel like I just got past an intro because there's been kind of a weird time jump. And the main character is like, "Wait a minute, I just saw you when you were a kid," and everyone else is saying, "Hey, good to see you again. You've been gone for so long." Um, but yeah, it's still a really good Souls-like 2D platformer. The one issue I'm kind of having with it is that it's paced like a Souls game, where you find a bonfire equivalent and you get all your health back, but all the enemies respawn. And then you
Mhm.
go into an area, you fight your way through there, and you find another bonfire equivalent. And so you kind of save your game there and you make that progress. If you die in a Souls game, when you die, you just respawn back at the last bonfire, at the last checkpoint that you were at. And then, you can continue from there, maybe find out where you died, do a corpse run. This game doesn't have that. Instead, like I said last week, it's more traditional RPG in that when you die, it's just a game over.
Mhm.
So every time I get to those checkpoints, I save. When I die, I just go back there. And so it's not
Oh, okay. It's not so
so I
bad.
lose that progress. So in a Souls game, you fight your way through a bunch of enemies and you die. And you're like, oh shit, I lost all that experience. If I go back and find my body, I can get all that experience back. And it's like, okay, hey, I didn't lose anything. This game doesn't have that. So every time I die, it's like, oh fuck, I got a game over. I'm just gonna reload a save. And so it leads to a couple frustrating moments where I'm fighting through kind of a tough area and then I die and I realize, oh shit, I just have to redo all that again. It's
Mhm.
not like I can go get that lost experience and sort of make up for lost time. No, I just got to do it again.
Yeah, this game looks absolutely brutal. Like, obviously, this is a boss fight,
Hmm.
but it's like, hard fought boss fight, and then it comes back up again.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, this is just seems like the fact that I don't know. The fact that you have to restart everything all over again if you die, you die. That's almost too mean. It's like either have really tough gameplay or checkpoints. No checkpoints.
Mm.
You don't do both. That's just too mean.
I mean, in the act of playing it, it's not really that bad because there are a fair number of checkpoints. And what I end up doing is, hey, I'm going to go out, explore a little bit, kill a bunch of enemies, go back, save, kind of do these expeditions. Save, go out, explore, go back, save, go out, explore. And through that, you end up grinding out, a bunch of levels.
Yeah.
And generally speaking, there's a checkpoint right before a boss.
Mhm.
And that's right, it does have this neat system. And just because of my nature of hoarding items, I don't use it that much. But it has a neat system where you get this item that basically makes a checkpoint anywhere. So if you're fighting along and you feel like, oh man, it's been a while since I last saved. I'm feeling really uncomfortable. I don't know if I can keep going forward. Just use that item and you automatically make a save point. And so if you
Oh,
die, you go there instead.
that's kinda nice.
But because of my tendency to just hoard items in games, I haven't used it that much. So a lot of my complaints about, oh, I gotta go back and redo things,
It's
that
because
could
you're not using the stuff that you have that
yeah,
would
I'm not using the actual mechanics the game offers to
got it.
alleviate that.
Yeah, typical. Uh
Don't give it a limited item. My nature is to hoard things. But yeah, I'm still very much enjoying it.
Good, good. So, any other games?
I played about 30 to 40 minutes of a racing game on Game Pass called Art of Rally. And I was mainly playing this because I just needed to do something while a new game called 12 Minutes downloaded from Game Pass because I've
Mhm.
been looking forward to that one for a while. Art of Rally, it's kind of a top down rally racing game. It's got a really cool, simple art style that hides kind of a really serious sim physics engine. So it kind of looks like a fun arcade Hot Wheels like racing game. No, no, it's way more of a serious racing game.
Just with a Hot Wheels cartoonish skin to it.
Yes. Uh, so already it's like, well, okay, I'm not that into serious racing games, but the look is really nice. And as I played more and more, I kind of got used to the speed of it. The one thing I'm a little frustrated by is that it's a rally game. So that means you're not racing against people, you're racing against their times. So it's always just you on the road. And one of the things that has always helped me in racing games is racing against other people because I can see when do they slow down? How
Right.
do they take this turn? I can follow them and through that you kind of realize, okay, what does the game expect me to do? Does the game expect me to go into a turn at 80 miles an hour and drift or does it expect me to brake hard, take the turn at 30 miles an hour and then speed up again? And it helps to see other drivers doing that.
Right.
But you just can't because it's only you on the road. And I wish there was some way to like maybe race a ghost of the AI, but there's not even that option. So it's taken me a little while to kind of figure out what type of game this wants to be. Like, when should I brake? How fast should I go into these turns? What exactly what kind of racing game is this exactly? And as you can see in this video, this person is also struggling very much with the same concept because he keeps swerving off the road and, fishtailing out.
Yeah, this looks way harder than its skin would let you believe.
Yeah, it definitely is.
So this is for somebody who really likes racing games.
Yeah,
Because
so if you're into
this would be so frustrating to me. I
oh
would
yeah, the fact that like, oh, I can't just drift around this corner at 50 miles an hour. Damn.
yeah, and of course, then there's the pedestrians and the spectators who are all sitting, like, on the road that you have to
Hmm.
avoid.
You don't really have to avoid them. You can just run straight into them and they move.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good. Yeah, this looks hard.
Yeah. DJ Phil Collins says he has a friend who plays this and describes it as brutal but rewarding,
Yeah,
which, yeah, I feel like that
I could see
it's
that.
it's the Returnal of racing games. It's the Dark Souls of racing games.
It is. So, you were playing this when you were loading something else up?
Yes, I have not gotten a chance to play 12 minutes yet, but I did download it.
Okay.
Um, that's one I think you should download. I've heard good things about that. It's like a Annapurna thriller, home invasion thriller.
Annapurna always makes good games.
Hmm.
when I find out that they have sexually harassed women, which is just a matter of time, I'm committing myself to the idea that every developer, every publisher that I have respect for is probably assaulting people. Um, they
Which is tough because like they're the ones. Last week we talked about the Gone Home developer Fulbright and how
Fulbright.
the CEO there is a real asshole, and how Annapurna is the one that got in the middle and is like, okay, we need to take care of this, otherwise the game is doomed. We need to get in between. So
Yeah,
yeah,
but
it'd be really sad to hear that. Oh yeah, the CEO of Annapurna is also,
yeah,
but
I'm
that
at this point just it's just a matter of time before everybody gets outed.
yeah,
So I'm just going to have to be okay with the fact that companies that I really, really love their work and want to be a fan of their companies are probably awful people.
just be a fan up until the news breaks. Like,
Right. But Annapurna almost always puts out excellent games.
yeah, I agree.
So anything else before we hit the news?
That's all my game playing.
All right. Well, then let's hit, wait for it, the news.
Oh, yeah, Andrew's
This
still
is
sleeping.
This is the GameHounds news, the news, used, and commentary of the week in gaming with Gamer Edie and Nikki Nicola. And our first item is
I feel like you should take it with the Activision Blizzard shit
okay,
show.
sure. This
Yeah.
week in the Active Blizz shit show, because this is going to go on for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks. So, this week in the Activision, it's kind of a quiet week, not too much going on, but this is the quiet before the storm. But what did happen that was notable, Call of Duty released the officially announced Call of Duty. Sorry, Activision officially announced Call of Duty Vanguard. They announced this on Thursday. And this is the first major Activision game reveal since the whole shit show started with the state of California lawsuit. And if you aren't following that, it's a state of California lawsuit against Activision Blizzard for a pervasive culture of racial and gender discrimination and sexual assault within the companies. And I say companies because it's Activision, it's Blizzard, it's Treyarch, it's all of the companies pretty much. Although Blizzard's catching the most amount of heat for it because um, they had the most spectacular allegations against it. So, otherwise, this trailer, this reveal, and the trailer that came with it would be pretty off the shelf and not very noteworthy. One little thing about it was a little noteworthy, and it sticks out and reminds us that all that Activision is very much a bad word these days. The end of the Call of Duty Vanguard trailer didn't include an Activision logo.
Hmm.
It had all the developers' logos. It had Sledgehammer Games, it had Treyarch, it had Beanox. Interestingly enough, one of the major allegations uh in the lawsuit was out of Treyarch. It has since been rumored. And that was some pretty bad situations with Black women, women of color, I should say, but it was in this particular case a Black woman whose supervisors, she was essentially made to do all of their work while the supervisors sat at their desks and played Call of Duty. That was apparently at Treyarch. But yeah, Treyarch's logo was on it. Sledgehammer's was on it. Beanox was on it. Activision's not on it. In fact, the video doesn't mention Activision anywhere except in the legally required small print copyright information. And if you look back at all previous reveal trailers for Activision, the logo's always there. As far back as the Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3, which was first uploaded to the channel in 2011, they have an Activision logo. So, in addition, Activision's logo is missing from the Call of Duty Vanguard page on battle.net. interestingly, Battle.net is another one of the Activision companies, subsidiaries, and, you know, businesses that was notably part of the uh, hostile culture, alleged hostile culture that was called out in the lawsuit. So Activision maybe trying to lay low. I mean, I think definitely they're trying to lay low, hoping this will blow over, hoping that the Activision name doesn't have any blowback on Call of Duty and the games that they're putting out, although everybody knows that Call of Duty is an Activision game. So yeah, not going to happen. In fact, the lack of Activision logos, I say, out of the Vanguard marketing materials, actually has drawn attention, and it on in social media it earned a lot of attention, a lot of mocking from people of Activision, with a lot of critics calling this very cowardly that they would do this. I can't disagree. But if this doesn't show you how concerned Activision is with its public reception, with the way people are seeing them now, and with the lawsuit itself, that they actually took their name off of a Call of Duty game in the marketing materials across the board. I don't know what does. It definitely indicates that Activision is taking this maybe not seriously because they want to do the right thing, but they're taking it seriously because they're afraid that this is going to affect sales.
Mm-hmm.
Which is so very typical of Activision, that they're not so much concerned about the people that have been abused, their human resources, their meat bags. They're more concerned with the fact that all of the attention is going to lose them money.
Oh yeah. I mean, especially with Call of Duty, because it's kind of all Activision has at this
Right.
point. You know, Blizzard has a bunch of stuff, but they haven't really done much lately. King is gonna keep on raking in millions of dollars, but I was reading Paul Tassi on Forbes, and he was making a point that every studio that Activision owns that is under the Activision label is basically just Call of Duty. And
Hmm.
it's like they're really putting all their eggs in that Call of Duty basket, which is a little risky because Call of Duty is no longer setting its own records year over year. You know,
Hmm.
it peaked in kind of the Modern Warfare, Black Ops era, and now it's consistently, a huge seller, but it's what is the word? It's stabilized. It's leveled off. It's leveled off up here, um, but it's not going up.
Yeah. I'm looking for the link. Unfortunately, I can't do uh, link to Stephen Totillo's, but I want to see what he said um, on his Twitter. But the uh, tagline for this was, "The omission was a creative choice." Ha.
Hmm.
So I'm looking for that link.
Someone, I guess, someone from Activision said it was a creative choice.
Oh, AC Ray says that, yeah, Stephen Totilo wrote, "I asked Activision about the logo's absence, a change from other Call of Duty reveals. Their PR. Call of Duty has continued to expand into an incredible universe of experiences. This was a creative choice that reflects how Vanguard represents the next major installment of the franchise." Oh, God.
Yeah.
Oh, I filled an entire toilet with that last night. That's what's making me ill. Oh my God. That is unmitigated bullshit at its chef's kiss finest.
Yeah.
Holy buckets.
I mean, technically, they're not wrong. It was a creative choice to remove it. There's some creativity involved in how do we separate Call of Duty from Activision. Let's not put a logo on there. It's like, yeah, yes, it's a
Yeah,
creative choice.
right. It's a creative choice for
Yeah,
us to hide the
yes.
fact as best we can that this is an Activision game, because we know that.
Which kind of says something funny about the idea that that the name Activision is kind of so sullied that they would do this, but also the idea that after fucking what 20 Call of Duty games, people don't already associate it with Activision. I mean, I know there are a lot of casual people that buy Call of Duty each year, but they have to associate Call of Duty with Activision. They see that logo pop up every time they boot up the game.
Right, right. Well, maybe not. But here's an interesting thing. I wish I had looked into this earlier from Stephen Totillo. An outspoken Blizzard worker recently got a message on LinkedIn from an in house recruiter. Some of the articles that you are sharing freak candidates out. They asked her to share more positive things. She didn't respond. Quote, I was kind of in shock.
I think I did read something about
Case
that.
in point, we don't care whether it's happening. We care whether everybody knows it's happening.
Yeah. Which is good. Like if they're
Just
having trouble
everything
recruiting, then
good.
that's a good
They
sign.
should. Would
Yeah.
anyone in their right mind take a job at Activision right now?
I know Ubisoft is
Especially women.
going through the same thing. Like I forget where exactly, but I've read something several weeks ago that they are in a situation where, this is really affecting employee retention and employment and hiring. The muck that they're being dragged through.
Yep.
So
So, yeah, that's all that's happening. In the Activision shit show. What do you got?
so this isn't related, but it's related in theme.
Mhm.
A indie developer called Jake Friend, one word, uh, sort of went on a Twitter, not tirade, but explainer, because he created a not kick funded, Kickstarter
Kickstarter.
funded
Mhm.
game called Scrabdackle. And I guess he then got a publishing deal from a publisher for $500,000, and he turned it down. And so the Twitter explainer is him going uh through the not he didn't show the contract, but he explained a lot of points in the contract that, you know, why this contract from a publisher is really, really shitty for a game developer. And it hit a lot of people because a lot of those terms are kind of standard. Some people have responded that, oh, yeah, one of those is usually a red flag. Seeing a contract with all of those items in it is really mind boggling. Uh, the developer of The Witness, Jonathan Blow, I think at one point came on and said, oh, I think I know who this is based on those terms. And the guy responded, a lot of people say that, and everyone has a different guess.
Oh God,
Which,
that's a terrible indication of the state of
yeah.
being a game developer. Yeah, it's a really long.
And so some of
Let's
the
start with the
things,
heaviest stuff. If the business invokes a breach of contract clause, here's what happens. They get to keep the right to sell the game, and I lose my royalty. So they keep 100% of the revenue. I pay them back all the money they'd ever given to me, and I will also pay them all development costs yet to come for them to finish the game without me, with no limit to what that budget or cost is. So here's me, a 30-year-old solo dev, facing the consequence where if my game is to be taken away from me, I'm also in debt. The debt would be anywhere from one quarter to $500,000. So with no option for further income. And with no option for further income, likely any funds I'd also received would be spent on cost of living. And I don't have money like that, you know? So if this happens, I'm in debt forever. This breach is really easy to trigger. I would never expect a producer to call for it. But if the business has a choice between paying for a game and getting more than 50% of the revenue plus its money eventually back, or not paying for a game and getting 100% of the revenue, obviously one is more blatantly self benefiting. And even if unlikely, I can't accept the massive risk without protection against someone at the top deciding to cut me loose one day. All it takes is one misstep to have cause to invoke. Whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's terrifying. That is a risk, personal risk that someone is taking to have their game published.
So yeah, it's a good long series of
Oh,
tweets,
it is a very, very long.
really insightful, uh, and really just, man, it is hard out there for an indie dev.
Yeah.
And he also made a point that a lot of people accept these contracts with bad terms because they're not business people. They're just, you know,
Developers.
yeah, developers who are just like, hey, I made a game and I want to get it finished, and oh, it's going to be published. That's cool. Kind of being taken advantage of and preyed upon. And, not all publishers, of course, but the fact that a majority have something like this.
Well, the fact that any one publisher could have these many pitfalls for a developer, the fact that they would put all of those in there with a straight face means that it is an industry standard.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know where they fall on the spectrum of the industry standard, but the fact that they're all in there says that they've done it before and they can get away with it. Otherwise, they wouldn't put that shit in there.
And so this actually leads, like both of these stories came out on the same day, and it's really interesting coincidence. It is a coincidence. There's no conspiracy, but Outriders developer People Can Fly has said that they have not received any royalties from their game from Square Enix yet.
No.
People Can Fly is the developer, Square Enix is the publisher. And they've talked about why this may be, because Square Enix, there's probably something in the contract that says Square Enix is not required to pay royalties to People Can Fly until Square Enix has recouped all of its costs. How much did Square Enix spend? Well, that's where they can put in magic math. I remember decades ago, Peter Jackson sued New Line Cinema, I think it was New Line Cinema, because he wasn't getting royalties for Lord of the Rings, because New Line was basically like, yeah, those movies didn't break even. And so they had a bunch of fancy math to show all the expenses that caused the movies, these hugely successful movies, to not break even.
Yep.
And I saw other people speculating that in this particular case, putting the game out day one on Game Pass may have really hurt People Can Fly, because even if those terms were good, that's still some potential sales that they didn't get, which would then impact the royalties down the line.
Right. Well, and it's kind of surprising because Outriders, Square Enix in the past has said Outriders is doing great.
Yeah.
Back in May, they said that the Outriders was poised, quote, poised to be the company's next big franchise. After 3.5 million unique players went to play it, at least some of Outriders' success was attributed to its day one launch on Game Pass. So Square Enix was saying, oh, it's so successful because of Game Pass. In June, just a couple of months ago, in June, they said, Square Enix said they were pleasantly surprised by the success of Outriders.
They're pleasantly surprised
And then
because
they
they're
said,
getting all that money.
quote, the digital sales ratio for the title have been very high, but still they haven't paid. And it's kind of funny. There's very few things I remember about my college education. I got my degree and promptly core dumped all that information. But there's a couple things that stuck in my mind. And one of them was in my journalism class, a story about, I forgot what band it was, but it was one band in like the 80s. And it was the same situation where you have producers of a product and then you have publishers of said product, and publishers pay royalties or pay upfront for said in this case album, and then have to recoup those costs based on sales. And of course, the publishers would report the record sales to the band saying, this is what your record sales are. Well, this Magic math has been around forever.
Oh yeah.
Because, of course, there's a lot of fudgy on those numbers. And this one band, and fuck, I can't remember which band it was. They decided that they wrote into their contract that the records would be pressed by the publisher and sold by the publisher. Album covers, though, they wanted to use their own in-house printing company for the album covers. So they weren't able to track how many pressings of the album were made. But curiously enough, when they got their numbers back, it said they sold 100,000 albums. But when they checked with the company that they had hired for the album covers, they sold something like 150,000 album covers. And it's like, really? Where'd the 50,000 album covers go that we're short of? And after that, no publisher would allow a band to be able to, or a music artist to be able to control anything to do with the distribution of the albums that would allow them to be able to track sales
Yeah.
accurately.
I remember, and I'm relaying this anecdote third hand because it's what my dad told me from a book he was reading that was written by the drummer of Semisonic, that band in the 90s, hit song called Closing Time. Really good song, good band. You know, the way those contracts work is the music publisher will like pay for studio time, recording time, and all that, and then they're expected to make it up with album sales. And so this anecdote is the drummer wrote one time, their publisher took him out to lunch and, they're talking about things and doing business meeting. They get the check. The publisher's like, takes a check, signs it. The drummer looked at it. He signed Semisonic. He signed the band. The band paid for the lunch, basically.
Oh.
And so it's like, wait a minute. We realized, something like a lunch, they're just going to add that to the expenses. That is just more albums you need to sell to make
Somebody buys a roll of toilet paper to take a dump while they're working on your album. You pay for the roll of toilet paper.
Yep.
Yep.
And it's
Absolutely everything.
All those little shitty things.
It's like, lawyers do the same things.
Oh, yeah. Nickel and diming.
Nickel and diming. A lot of nickels and dimes. They add up to dollars.
Yeah. And so seeing this news story with People Can Fly in Square Enix on the heels of the indie dev talking about bad publishing contracts is like, man, it even happens to pretty big established studios like People Can Fly. The person who said that from People Can Fly, I forget who it was specifically, but he wasn't like, oh, fuck Square Enix over this. He was more just like, this is kind of a weird thing. And he did say that they expect to start getting some royalty checks by the end of the year, I think.
Yeah, they were really diplomatic about it. People Can Fly were.
Yes.
They said, we don't have any sales figures for Outriders. This came from Sebastian Wojciechowski, who's the People Can Fly president. He said, we don't have any sales numbers for Outriders. We estimate it at between 2 and 3 million units and assumed that this was a result that would ensure profitability for the project in the first quarter of sales. The lack of payment by the publisher probably means that, according to Square Enix, this is not the case. So
yeah, and he says, we have the entire sales tail of the Outriders game ahead of us. We also look forward to further promotional efforts on the publisher side. Despite this disappointing news, we believe the first royalties from Outriders sales will come this year.
Yeah. It ain't easy being an artist.
Yep.
Not when you cannot control the publishing.
Oh shit, did he have? Is he right? Did you get the book from the drummer? Yep, that was it. So you want to be a rock star, a rock and roll star.
Of course he did. AC Wraith is a god when it comes to links. He can find everything. So, yeah. That, man,
Yeah,
I mean,
I guess,
don't get me wrong. I'm angry at Outriders for being a really good game wrapped in a really bad. I would say
A bad end game. Bad end
a
game.
bad
Let's
game,
just
really
yeah.
bad end game. But
I still thoroughly enjoyed most of that game. That I would buy a sequel.
yeah, I would too. I just wouldn't expect much from the end game. I wanted the end game to be so much better. So let's see. My next item
Well, I
is
do feel like I've got one more that feels like it's on the same thematic train.
okay.
So I'll just continue. We all know Ubisoft has been going through a bunch of harassment reckonings. A couple weeks ago, there was an article, I think it was Kotaku, that went into the boondoggle that is, not Black Flag. What's the name of the pirate game? Skull and Bones.
Skull and Bones. Oh yeah.
Yeah, they're long delayed, long stuck in development hell pirate game, Skull and Bones. That is in development at Ubisoft Singapore. Now, we get reports that Ubisoft Singapore is under its own investigation for sexual harassment, workplace discrimination, and all that same good stuff. This is the Tripartite Alliance for Fair and Progressive Employment Practices, which is Singapore's national workplace watchdog. So again, like this is happening in Singapore, but this is basically equivalent of what California is doing with Activision, where the government is getting involved in the game studio, investigating it for allegations of sexual harassment and discrimination. And having this come on the tail of the report a couple weeks ago about how that game is stuck in development hell feels like an unfortunate inevitability. Just hearing what that game, the bad management that just surrounded everything about that game, it feels, like I said, inevitable that there would also that mismanagement and that incompetence and anger would kind of trickle down into employees and manifest as harassment and discrimination in all those typical tech forms. So, yeah.
So I'm going to make you leave and come back because your video has been delayed with your audio and it's
Oh,
getting worse and worse and worse and worse. So can you go leave and restart?
yes.
All right. And while you do that, are you done with the Ubisoft Singapore? I'm assuming he's done with Ubisoft Singapore. So let's get into my next item. Soulja Boy, the rapper, on Friday, he went to YouTube and produced a 1-minute video. All right, much better. Much better. I don't know what you're
The next 40 minutes. I don't have to do it again.
okay, all right. He went to YouTube and did a 1-minute video in which he said that he now owns Atari. He was wearing an Atari t-shirt and a hat, and he told viewers, quote, "I am now the owner of Atari. I own the game company Atari." Except he doesn't. It didn't take long for Atari executives to set the record straight with a tweet from Atari's official Twitter account, reading, quote, "We know that CEO of Atari is a dream job, but that honor belongs to Wade Rosen." This is not the first time that Soulja Boy has had questionable video game endeavors, let's call them. Back in 2018, he attempted to sell a rebranded Chinese games console running unlicensed ROMs and passing them off as its own design, saying I designed a console.
Oh.
Then he announced earlier this year that he was producing another new console that was very suspiciously looked a lot like an Xbox Series X. Then in June, he announced a handheld console called the TRDR Pocket, which was suspiciously like a Retroid Pocket, which is an existing product that in turn was cloned from the Powkitty A19, another off-brand Chinese product. But the difference being that the Retroid Pocket you could get for under $100, and the one that Soulja Boy was selling as his own design was more than twice that.
Of course, it's got his name on it.
So bottom line, if Soulja Boy's talking about anything to do with video games, there's a good chance he's probably not entirely, let's say, in control of all the facts. I wouldn't say
Yeah.
lying, but it's sus. Let's just
No
say.
one don't go into business with him if he's
Do
designing his
not
own
go
console.
into if Soulja
No.
Boy comes up to you and says, "I want you to invest in my new game console," please rethink that shit.
I've got a new game console, better than the Xbox, better than the PlayStation. It's gonna be great.
I want you to invest in my new company, Atari.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So yeah. But I found that story fucking hilarious. So yeah. I hope I didn't.
Especially that's just like you lie once, then it's like, oh, fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, no, fool me
Fool me
once, shame
once,
on
shame on
you.
you. Fool me
Fool me
twice,
twice,
shame on
shame
me.
on me. And this is him doing it like what, a third and fourth time?
Yes,
It's like
this is the fourth time that
like
we know about.
you keep doing the same scam.
Soulja Boy really wants to own a video game company. He just
I
if
guess
he had started an actual video game company in 2018 when he started this with his cash, he probably would have a legitimate game company.
yeah. Or I imagine it can't be that difficult to just go to the manufacturer of one of these Chinese ripoffs and say, "Hey, I'll put my name on it. Let's charge double." Boom, there you go. You have
Right.
a deal.
Right. Or let's work together to make a console and
No,
I'll
that's
put
way
my
too
name
much
on it.
work. I'm not gonna make anything. I just want to
Yeah.
slap my name on something.
My brother, I love him to death, but he is Mr. I can do this, the backroom deal way. And
Mm,
that's a big thing in my family of like, oh yeah, I could go to the store and buy one, but I could also go to the other store and get one and assemble it myself. And it's like, for $20 less.
mhm.
It's like, yeah, but you do realize that by doing stuff the not legal or, like the back end way, the kind of sus way, you're spending so much time and effort. You're better off just going through the front door and paying the extra $20.
Yeah. To be fair, I do remember a story from like a year or so ago when switches were super impossible to find. Someone basically sourced all the parts and put together his own switch, and it came out pretty much at cost. But he did it specifically because he couldn't buy
Right.
the actual one.
And that's one thing. It's
Mhm.
like if you don't have a choice, but this is somebody who's trying to get you to spend twice or three times the amount of what you could spend on exactly the same thing.
Yeah.
And then it'd be one thing if you like branded it for yourself and said you branded it, but to say that I designed it, this was my vision. It's like, Jesus, just didn't have to answer that. You just didn't have to just don't add that shit. So anyway, so that was the fun story of the week for me.
Okay.
Soulja Boy does not own Atari.
Okay. Good to know.
And you could
Good
tell
little
in the
factoid.
tweet that Atari's tweet, you could tell they were kind of chuckling about the whole thing.
Yeah. We
Like,
know
it's
being
so
an Atari
ludicrous.
CEO is a dream job.
Yeah. It's like saying, I'm John Elway. It's like, no. So, what's your next one?
This is just kind of interesting. So PlayStation is losing an exclusive game. It sounds like a big deal. Maybe it is. Oddworld Soulstorm is coming to Xbox.
Right. We've talked about that.
Did we? I thought that we talked about how Oddworld Soulstorm came out in February. It was like a PS Plus game. I downloaded it. It was okay. Um, then several months later, it came out in physical edition. So the physical disc of Soulstorm was not released at the same time as the digital edition. And now it's also being released on Xbox.
Really? So it was supposed to be an exclusive to PlayStation, and then did it time out?
I don't know. It's on PC as well, so but then PlayStation has been putting more of their stuff uh on PC, so that wasn't necessarily super surprising.
Mhm. Yeah, well, I don't know if they call that. I mean, obviously, this must have been in a contract that because they wouldn't be able to lose the exclusivity, unscheduled,
Yeah.
unless they've done something wrong.
Yeah.
But
Well,
still,
yeah, I'm sure that this was
is it on
probably
Game
part of
Pass?
some original deal.
Yeah.
No, it's not out on Xbox now, and there's no word of when it will be released. But there was like a new teaser trailer that came with the news.
Hmm, interesting.
Yeah. Especially because well, I guess I was gonna say Oddworld was a PlayStation series, but that was only for the first two games. And then the second two games were Xbox exclusives.
Right.
So it's, you know, it has always had a polygamous relationship with the manufacturers.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
So, next item. I'm out of items.
Okay. Well, I don't hate Fortnite the way other people do, but it is a little irritating because I liked Among Us, and Among Us was a good feel good story of the pandemic. Fortnite is ripping off Among Us for a new mode called Imposters Mode, which is out now. It's playable now. Uh, and it is basically a third person Among Us. I've watched some gameplay of people playing it, and there are a couple admittedly interesting twists that they add to the formula. It does have the same general structure of run around an environment, do tasks. Every now and then, some disaster will happen. Everyone has to go to one point. You know, imposters will try to kill the agents. And oh, hey, when you do, you find a body, you report it, you go into a separate room, discuss things, and then choose to vote someone off. And if they're an imposter, you get to see. If they're not, you don't. Same gameplay, same structure, same everything, except even and the developers of Among Us have really called this out. Even kind of the same map design. It has the
Oh,
same general
wow.
structure of like up at the top, there's sort of a cafeteria common area, and then kind of goes off into its own separate uh, west and south locations. So you know, in the same way that Fortnite got famous for ripping off PUBG, it feels like they're doing the same with Among Us. And but to be fair, like I said, when they ripped off PUBG, they had a whole building system involved as well that gave it its own flavor. This one has a couple interesting little twists. There's one thing that an imposter can do, which is turn on like a banana mode or something, which basically puts everyone in the same banana suit for 30 seconds. Which and what was I admit really fun to see in this video is there's a group of people running. All of a sudden they turn into bananas. Then all of a sudden one of them kills another. And it's like you just did this right out in the open, but we don't know who it was. And it's like, okay, that's kind of a cool twist.
So, yeah, but man, Fortnite's Activision, right?
No, Fortnite is epic.
That's right. Fortnite is Epic.
Yes.
Yeah. Uh, uh, I
It on one hand it feels like this is kind of
it's
a dick move,
skeezy. It's
but on the
skeezy.
other hand, like this is like what game development is, right? I can't count how many times we've said, I wish someone would rip off the Nemesis mode from Shadow of Mordor.
Mm-hmm.
But they don't. Like, you rip off ideas that work. That's how ideas evolve.
Right.
I think the only issue is like, the map is kind of really similar. Like the pace, all of it looks so similar. It's like you couldn't have gone like just 10% more in another direction.
Yeah.
But
It's
I do think there is potential to like have it be its own thing in a way that is original and clever. Like I said, the banana suit thing seemed like a cool idea. I don't know how much of that is because I only watched like a 15-minute video of this guy playing. If there are more things like that, I think it's more okay.
yeah. Still, I'm gonna stick with Skeezy.
Yeah.
But, this is what Epic does, and it's kind of funny that they're like, "We're here for gamers' rights," but, if somebody else has a really, popular, unique new mode, we will absolutely shoehorn that into Fortnite.
I mean, that's not different from Call of Duty ripping things off for Warzone.
Yep, true,
Battlefield doing the same thing.
true.
Everyone jumped on the battle royale train when it started leaving the station. And to be fair, I've heard Warzone has recently banned like 50,000 cheaters. Like Warzone is having a real serious cheater issue.
Mhm.
I've heard that PUBG, the reason PUBG is kind of like fallen from the public consciousness or from the public discourse, still popular, just not a lot of people talking about it, is because it has had a lot of issues with cheaters. Have not heard the same thing with Fortnite, so maybe
Fortnite spends a lot of money keeping those people,
something
moderately
they're
cheaters,
doing
and
is helping to keep that game popular and keeping the cheaters at bay. Because once you start getting cheaters involved with a highly competitive game like that, you really start demoralizing your fan base, and
Mhm.
that's how you can lose it.
True, true.
But yeah, no, it's good. Like AC Ray said, never good to forget that Fortnite started with their Save the World mode. That was like a wave based kind
Mhm.
of more tower defense game where you built a base and then at night zombies or something came to attack it, and then midway through development they changed course to make a battle royale once PUBG took off.
And I guess maybe Among Us was a clone in and of itself of something called Space Station 13.
Okay, see, I don't know. Everything fucking clones everything nowadays.
So, yeah. Yeah, it's what they do.
There's this movie critic that I like, and one of the things he has said over and over again about movies is don't remake, rip off.
Yeah.
And his specific example is Fast and Furious,
Mhm.
which one of the biggest franchises in the world now. It began as a blatant ripoff of Point Break.
Mhm.
And, they remade Point Break and no one cared. But you rip off Point Break and you get Fast and Furious.
Right.
So, rip off.
Evil always succeeds. It really does. It makes me wonder why I'm not more evil.
Yeah. What podcast can we rip off? GameHounds. Should we rip off Among Us too? Should we have our own like GameHounds imposter mode?
We might have to do that. I'll
Oh
try
yeah, we
to
can
think
do
of
that for the Ookie Bookie Spelookie. We gotta put
an
a battle
imposter mode.
royale in Ookie Bookie Spelookie, and we gotta put actually no, battle royale's old hat. No one cares
Right.
about
No,
that
no, no.
anymore.
That was so 2019.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it would have to be an Among Us mode.
Okay. Okay. Some of the blocks are real. Some of the blocks are imposters.
You have to pick, and you just kind of, and the blocks just sit there the whole time. They don't do anything. You just have to find the imposter.
Yeah. But if you push the wrong block, you die.
Speaking of things about rip off, don't remake, unless you're
Yes.
Skyrim,
But
and
see,
then you're just gonna remaster it 100 times.
don't rip off, don't re-release. Don't rip off a remake when you can just re-release.
Right. Don't make a new game. Just make the old game
Just
over and over and over
God, I
again.
swear between this and GTA 5, it's just when they made those games, they accidentally hit some gold mine nerve that just allowed them to print money. Print copies of the game endlessly. Endlessly. And you
And
know what's the most you know what's
I
the most
wouldn't mind it too
terrible?
much if it weren't for the fact that it's printing the money, but it has stalled all other development. There's nothing
No,
wrong with
I
the
don't
game
think
being
I don't think
re-released and
Skyrim
re-released
has
and
stalled
re-released, but
development at Bethesda.
when was the last time we had a Bethesda game?
I mean, it all feels fairly on track.
I mean, I guess there's Fallout 76, but
Yeah.
I
If
guess,
anything, that would take more resources because that's an MMO.
yeah, which
But
was
yeah.
not a
The,
good
the
release.
worst part is that well, I don't have Skyrim for PS4. You know what? Maybe I could go back to Skyrim. It's been like what AC Ray says. It's been 20 years.
I know I could go
I
back.
could go
I'm
back
not
to
gonna lie. I could
Skyrim.
go back to Skyrim,
It's like you
but I won't.
fuckers, you got me.
But I won't because I have principles. But yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna lie. There have been nights when it's like I wanted to pull up Mass Effect, replay it again, or Dragon Age, replay it
Although
again.
I wonder.
But yeah, so we talk about the re-release. Let's get the facts out here first before we go into
Okay,
the
well, I'm just
navel gazing.
speculating. I have Skyrim on the 360.
Mhm.
The Series X is backwards compatible with 360 games. I could probably download the 360 version of Skyrim and play it, but would that get me a free upgrade somehow to the Series X version?
Maybe. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, Bethesda is re-releasing another version of Skyrim. This time it's here to celebrate the 10th anniversary. It is the Elder Scrolls V Skyrim Anniversary Edition. It's going to be available for the PC, the Xbox One, the Xbox Series S and X, as well as PlayStation 4, but not PlayStation 5. Oh, we'll have backwards compatibility with the PlayStation 5. But yeah, the Anniversary Edition contains the full game along with all the expansions and specifically Dawnguard, which was the expansion. Dawnguard, Hearthfire, and Dragonborn. Those are actually the three of them. It has all the enhancements that came out with the special edition, the remaster that Bethesda released back in 2016. They're not really clear about whether it improves the frame rates or not, or if they have better graphics. Don't know. Don't care. It also comes with some new features, though, including a fishing mechanic, as well as 500 pieces of Creation Club content, quests, dungeons, bosses, weapons, and spells unique to this version alone. We don't have any details about what those features are specifically, so we're gonna have to wait for more information in the future for that. But according to IGN, old fans can upgrade their game to the Anniversary Edition if they already have the Special Edition.
That's good.
The upgrade won't be free. Of course
Okay,
not.
that's
Why?
good.
Of course not. Of course not. Why would they make it free? But we don't know how much it's going to cost to either have the game or the upgrade at this point. But yes,
Oh,
it
okay,
was
wait.
announced.
I'm looking at an article from GameBite, and they say that
Bitter
if you
says maybe you can play as Geralt. Geralt.
GameBite says that if you own Skyrim Special Edition on PC, PS4, Xbox One, you receive the next gen upgrade for free. But if you want the Anniversary Edition, that comes with quote over 500 pieces of unique content from the Creation Club. So basically, like modded skins, then that will cost a fee, and we don't know what the fee is. So if you're just looking for the fancy graphical upgrade, you can get that for free. But if you want like the extra creation content stuff, you got to pay a little bit.
All right.
And also, this article pointed out that I don't have to rebuy this bullshit because it's going to come on Game Pass. Because
Oh,
Bethesda is
Bethesda.
Microsoft.
Yep. All right.
Keep forgetting that.
Man, that Game Pass just pays for itself, doesn't it?
Yeah,
I
actually,
went on to the PlayStation last night. I was just cruising for games, and it's like, and I was gonna switch over to Xbox because it's like, I'm just gonna cruise a game and play something.
I meant to say this last week, but I think getting Game Pass may have been a mistake because I find myself doing
Really?
what I do with Netflix, which is it's a good mistake. I just browse the queue and go, what's new? That looks interesting. Download, 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 download. So now I have about like 20 games that I downloaded. Over the past week, I downloaded maybe 10 or so games from Game Pass. And I'm like, I honestly don't know if I have the time to play through all of these, but I want to play through these. And it's becoming like my Netflix queue where, you know, I just browse, oh, what's new on Netflix? That looks interesting. Add it to the queue, add it, add it, add it, add it, add it. And now my queue is, 200 things long with stuff that I'm like, oh, hey, I forgot about that. Maybe I should watch that, which
Yeah.
is a good problem for the service to have when I'm just, oh, there's too many things for me to play. But I had that moment when I was like, oh, what's new in Game Pass? Oh, there's 5 games here. All of them look interesting. I'm just going to download them all. And I could download them all. And it's like, oh, this is if it wasn't for Returnal that like is genuinely great and has me really hooked, I would just be like on a Game Pass
So
binge.
your digital hoarding goes to games as well.
Oh yeah, definitely, definitely.
See, the thing is that which is something that is similar to Netflix, but it happens much more frequently than Netflix. Is they do remove games
Oh
from.
yes, and I've
So you could put it in there and put it in your queue, and by the time you get to it, you can't play it. Like
and
Goose
the thing
Game,
is,
Untitled Goose Game. I played it a little bit, and then I didn't play it, and then I came back to it, and I couldn't play it.
that's why I played Untitled Goose Game when I did because I saw it was leaving. And
Yeah.
honestly, I'm kind of a little happy when things leave my Netflix queue because I'm like, oh, good. I don't have to think about that anymore. I can focus on, watching something else.
Yep. Yep.
So it's a good issue to have. It just means that they are putting out a lot of good, interesting things on Game Pass. So yeah.
AC Ray says my watch later list is thousands of items long on YouTube and sometimes fails to load. It's all ASMR videos I've not sorted into playlists yet.
Need to create a playlist and then like a sub playlist and a sub playlist.
DJ Phil Collins says, I think they should start doing Skyrim like Madden and just release it annually.
Oh, yeah. They could.
They could. I mean, they have been. Well, every 5 years they've been doing it. So, I've got nothing else to talk about. What are you watching right now?
Okay, I do have one more news item.
Oh, you do?
Yes.
What?
Microsoft has announced that Halo Infinite is going to launch with split screen, but no co-op campaign and no Forge. And Forge is their like multiplayer customization engine where you can kind of create your own custom games. In just a moment. Okay. Yeah, Halo is going to launch without Forge and without campaign co-op. A lot of people are upset by that because Halo is kind of known for its campaign co-op, and the Forge was a huge popular addition from Halo 3. So, kind of two big pillars not being there at launch. They've said that the campaign co-op will come with season 2 of the release, so about 3 months after the game comes out, and Forge will be part of season 3, which will be about 6 months after the game comes
Do
out.
you get the feeling that possibly they were planning on putting these things all together, and then they realized they were in a time crunch and they weren't going to be able to
Oh,
hit their release date.
100%.
And so they said, you know what, let's just take the campaign and stick it into season 2.
100%.
Yeah.
There is a post on Reddit, which is just a random ass post.
Mm-hmm.
No guarantee that it's truthful. So, let's 50-50 chance that it's fake. But it's basically from someone claiming to be a developer at 343 Studios about the delays. And it does have a bit of interesting possible insight that one of the reasons co-op is delayed is because previous Halo games have been fairly linear in their progression. This game, they wanted to make it a true open world game.
Mm-hmm.
And so they ran into an issue of, shit, how do we have co-op in this open world game? And other open world games have had co-op, but this is just a particular thing that Halo has not had to deal with. And so questions of, do we allow people to go off in completely different directions, or do we have some system that tethers them together? If they get into 2 different firefights and someone dies, where do they respawn?
Mm-hmm.
And so just questions like that are easy to deal with when you have a linear campaign. When you have an open world campaign, suddenly becomes a little bit more complicated, and it seems like they didn't quite take that into effect when they were initially designing the campaign. And so now it's like, oh shit, how do we get co-op to work? I don't know. At least that is what this random account on Reddit claims is one of the issues. So take it with a grain of salt, but it seems plausible.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I just get the feeling that Halo Infinite is going to disappoint more than it's going to satisfy people at this point.
It's tough. It's got a lot to live up to. I mean, it was delayed a year. I've heard positive things about that technical test. Like it received a lot of good praise. So it's been long enough. I feel like people are ready for another Halo game.
Yeah.
That it will be met with some amount of open arms just because it's another Halo game. And it's
Yeah.
been a while since one of those came out.
All right, so I got nothing else. Do you have anything else?
I do, and I found this on Kotaku. One fun story. I mentioned 12 minutes at the top of the podcast. James McAvoy does one of the voices in there. And he recently talked with Forbes about it and about his gaming habits. And he had a fun anecdote about how he was filming a movie called Becoming Jane when Oblivion came out. And he got so hooked on Oblivion that there were times when, usually he goes to bed at 10, gets up at 6, that kind of schedule. And here he is up till 4 a.m. playing Oblivion.
Mm-hmm.
And he had one anecdote about he started playing at 8, didn't stop until 5:30 because 10 minutes later a call came to pick him up to take him to set. He's like, "Oh shit." So he ended up taking the disc out of the Xbox, putting it on a frying pan and destroying it.
Good for him. At least he knew.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, we've all had moments like that.
We've had that.
And I just found that a really fun anecdote.
Yeah. So, what are you watching these days?
I have been watching a lot of Parks and Recreation.
Oh, good.
I've not seen it before, and I
Oh,
gotta.
it's so good.
Yeah.
The first
It's
3 to
all.
4 episodes are for trying to find their way, but when they find their way, it's golden.
I just saw the 4th season last night,
Okay.
so I'm deep into it, and yeah, it's just a good, fun, charming show.
Yep. It's right up there with The Good Place of one of the better shows that
Made
probably could
by
have
same dude.
same dude for a
Yeah.
reason. For a reason. I am kind of hooked on K-dramas lately. I'm watching something called a K-drama called Chief of Staff. It's all right. But the one that I want to, if you if you want to get into K-dramas, but you're afraid that it's all going to be like smoochy face and, you know, roses and girls and just too romantic, there is one I can recommend, and it is on Netflix. It is a Netflix original. It's called Vincenzo,
Vincenzo.
and it is dubbed. The dub is, I would
Oh,
give it a
very nice.
7 out of 10, 7.5 out of 10. You eventually warm to it, but the English dub is fine, is good. Vincenzo is a really, really good show. Uh, it is about a Korean guy who was adopted at when he was very young from Korea to Italy and eventually became a consigliere for the Italian mafia and comes back to Korea because one of the guys that he advised, who was a Chinese oligarch, uh, very suddenly died. And this guy had, because Vincenzo told him how to hide it, hidden 20 tons of gold bars
Okay.
underneath a building, like an old rundown plaza building. And he and only one other guy in the world know that that 20 pounds of 20 tons of gold is underneath that building. And he wants to get it out without anyone else knowing, without any of the residents of this building knowing. And it's a little bit oddball, a little bit screwball, a little bit um mafia guy, like mafioso,
So is it
outthinking everybody, and it's fun, but it's also quite serious.
okay? So it's
There's
not
some
a
really good
comedy.
villains.
It's like comedy villain. It's
It's definitely, well, there's an element that I didn't talk about, is that this building is slated for demolition by a corporation to build a new huge building, a corporate building, like a massive, massive building. And this building is slated for
so
demolition.
is he working against the corporation, which endears him to the residents?
Yes. But the residents don't know what his ulterior motive is he's trying to get them all out of the building at the same time long enough that he can get 20 tons of gold out of the basement.
Okay, I really like this concept.
Yeah. It's a really, really, really good show. And the villains are about as villainous as you could possibly imagine. And the finale is so, so good. The finale is fucking brutal. Oh my god, fucking brutal. Like way more brutal than I've ever seen of anything before. Terrifying,
Wow.
brutal.
I mean, I love a good South Korean crime thriller because they are like that. In a lot of ways, they give me the David Fincher crime thriller hook that I don't get from a lot of American movies. There's
Mhm.
a series called Bad Guys on Netflix I've always wanted to see,
Yes,
but I
I've always
haven't
wanted to see that
watched.
too.
But yeah, I added it to my list. Vincenzo sounds good.
Yeah, Vincenzo is good, but that's the thing with Korea with K-dramas is you have to be aware that it is a commitment.
Yeah, those I saw the episodes are like 80 minutes each, and there's 20 of them.
Yes.
So
Yes, they're 80 minutes each. There's 20 minutes of them, and their product placement is hilarious. They have no shame with the product placement. They will stop the show mid-show to talk about the coffee candy that they're eating.
okay,
Yeah,
okay.
it is so ham-fisted, it's almost endearing. Uh, but yeah, I'm a big thumbs up for anybody that wants, if you wanna get yourself into a show that is gonna be going, I mean, that goes for a long while, um, this is definite, and scratches the nerves for these screwball oddballs, inhabitants of the plaza building, that scratches the crime drama, scratches the need for the one guy who's smarter than everybody else foiling some really fucking evil villains. It's all
Okay.
of those things.
Okay. A screwball Breaking Bad.
Yeah. Screwball Breaking Bad with the mafia.
Okay.
Yeah, because of course this guy is a conciliary of the Italian mafia, and it's like he doesn't want to go full mafia on anybody because he's a nice guy. He doesn't want to go full mafia. He realizes he's in Korea, and Korean mafia is nothing compared to the Italian mafia. He knows what he's doing. He is a god. He knows exactly what the fuck he's doing. But he doesn't want to pull out like the big guns.
Yeah.
And then eventually he pulls out the big guns, and it is so fucking satisfying.
Cool.
It is so satisfying.
Yeah, there's a couple other shows. Have you heard Money Heist? I've heard that
I've
is like
heard
one of
of that.
Netflix's biggest shows, and I've wanted to watch it for a while. And what you probably like to know, how to sell
Wayne's World
drugs,
level. Wayne's World 2, absolutely.
how to sell drugs online fast.
How to
The
sell
third
I
season
was the
came
one
out.
that told you about that.
I know. The third season came out like just a week
Oh!
ago.
Oh.
So yeah, new
Yeah.
episodes.
Okay.
Which
Yeah.
I'm curious to see about because that second season ended in like a oh shit, they just blew up the whole premise. So
So you did watch it.
yeah, the first two seasons of How to Sell
Isn't
Drugs.
it
They were
good?
great. I once I get through Parks and Rec, I want to go and rewatch those for the
Yeah.
new season because yeah, that was a really good show. I
Okay.
even recommended it to my parents who generally don't like subtitles, and so I had to say it. The dub is actually really good.
The dub
But-
is really that it is one of the best dubs that I've ever seen.
But yeah, I recommend that to anyone because it's a really good show.
Yeah. It's the protagonist is somebody I think that we can all identify with.
Mm-hmm.
He's definitely a fish out of water, and yet somehow he finds a way to swim in it. Swim in the air.
It's that good Breaking Bad arc of
Mhm.
I'm doing this thing, I'm kind of fucking up, but I'm also really smart, so I know how to get out of trouble, but then I keep getting into trouble because I don't know exactly what I'm doing. And so it's that constant push and pull of like, oh shit, we did this, but I got this resolved. Oh shit, but now we got to do this.
Yeah. Yeah, where it just leads you down a rabbit hole into are they ever going to turn truly evil?
Yeah.
All right, so that's about as much tap dancing as we can do.
That's our TV minute.
Yeah, like
TV
that.
20 minutes.
Yeah, TV 20 minutes. So I am going to go try to walk the dogs. Let's see if I get halfway out to the walk and realize that I've made a horrible, horrible tactical error.
Yeah, just go on someone's lawn and blame it on the dogs.
Yeah, no. But thank you. Might as well close this out, right? Sorry,
Yeah.
I'm so my brain is so not working right now. So let's close this out. You've been listening to GameHounds, episode 607. We did record this on Sunday, August 22nd, 2021. I've been Edie Sellers. With me has been Nick DiNicola. If you ever want to get a hold of us, gamehounds.net is our website. Gamehounds@gmail.com is our email. We record the show live every Sunday at 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern on a number of places. First off, we are live as audio on Spreaker. That's speaker with an R, Spreaker.com. You can check us out on the audio by going there when we do it live or even after the fact. If you want to watch the video feed, thank you very much to all the patrons who make the video feed possible every single week. It is with your largesse that we have been able to keep the video feed going financially. And that is on YouTube and Twitch currently, because we're not on Facebook anymore. YouTube, we are GameHounds Vids. That's GameHounds VIDS. And on Twitch, we are the GameHounds. You can check us out, like I said, 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern every Sunday. If you would love to be a patron, we only ask for $1 a month. Doesn't even have to be from all of you, just from some of you. It pays for our ability to be able to do the live stream. Patreon.com/GameHounds. And if you are watching on either YouTube or Twitch, please like and subscribe this show. It does make a difference very, very much. We would appreciate it. Nick, have a great week. I'm going to go check and see if Andrew's like maybe dead.
Yeah, he still hasn't answered his phone,
Answered
so
anything.
he's still knocked out wherever
So
he is.
hopefully we'll have a 3-man next week. We'll find out. Have a
Yeah.
great week, everyone. Wear your mask, get your vaccine, and wash your fucking hands. Have a great week. Bye, everyone. All right, we are out of audio. We are still in video. Oh man, I feel awful. I feel so awful right now.
Can you even walk the dogs, or should you just take a nap?
I really should take a nap, but I mean, unless I want even more poop in the house.
That's true.
Yeah. By the way, I'll point this out in the background right there. See that white square?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Kevin.
Oh,
The boy's back. Yep.
he'll always be part of the show.
Yep. Well, not always. He's going to be spread 2 places.
Oh, okay.
One at our ranch down in my family's ranch down in Central California. And then we're going to save a little bit, and his drone friends are going to pack a bit of his ashes and get a drone, probably do one of his drones. And we're going to go out to the ocean, and we're going to send that drone, send it west, heading towards Japan, and just let it go. Send it out. Like Hunter S. Thompson, but over the water.
Yeah.
It's going to send it as far as they can go. Send it into space but yeah, we'll just send it out, his ashes out over the ocean, and until maybe they'll hit Japan. Who knows?
Until it comes back and you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah, we're going to make sure we have to do the return to home thing turned off.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Because they do have return to home when it loses signal. Some of them have a return to home. Yeah, it has a return.
Okay.
Yeah, DJI, they have, in fact, fun fact, DJI, which are the Phantom drones that you see, those are the white drones that everybody buys. It's the ones off the shelf that everybody buys.
Okay.
Chinese manufacturer. And I don't know if that's still the case, but for a very long while, when they added the return to home feature, which is if the drone loses signal from the transmitter, or if you hit the return to home button, that it's supposed to come back to the place where it took off automatically using its GPS, except it was made in China. And the Chinese had set the return to home being China. So many people in the early days hit the return to home, and the thing started heading to China.
Just see it fly away.
Just took off.
You're like, wait.
Never to be seen again.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, so for a long while, the U.S. government was like, yeah, we're not using DJI shit anymore because, that's the fact that it's calling home and returning to home, and obviously has information on it that says China is mommy. We might not want to be using it because all its GPS stuff, that means that the GPS is still connected to China, to the DJI headquarters. And government was like, oh, no. We could not use this with our military, like observing stuff, because they had military drones that were observing like practice troop movements. When they do practice drills, like large scale drills, they would use those drones to observe. And the U.S. government was like, oh yeah, no, we cannot have that information being sent to China.
Yeah.
GPS locations specifically of these drones that are registered with the U.S. military as their owners. So,
I do like.
fuck you, Dave. No, I do not have dishes. Well, yes, actually, I do have dishes to wash, but but no, I have dogs to walk, and then I'm gonna drink a lot more water. I am very sick today.
I do like.
Speaking of Dave,
Oh.
speaking of goalie, hey, how's the weather there? Are you on? Can
Oh,
I
yeah.
send you an invite? I want to hear how things are going because you have a hurricane going. I'm
You're in the
I'm
middle of
freaking
it.
sending you right now. I am sending you to your Gmail account. I am sending you an invite. Join us. I want to hear how things are going for you. Yeah, just I literally sent hey there. No. look who showed
Hey!
the fuck up. Oh my god.
Hi.
Hi. Did you just wake up?
Hi,
I
are you ready to
did.
start the show?
I am ready to start the show. It is 4 somewhere. I'm only 15 minutes late. It's 4 in California. That's when we start.
Mm-hmm.
We've already finished the show.
Okay, good, because I have nothing to contribute.
But I'm hoping that Goalie gets on to tell us how he's doing in because there was that hurricane hit
Yeah,
him.
isn't it making
Flat out.
landfall like as we speak?
It made landfall last night. I mean, early this
Okay.
morning. So yeah, Goalie, if you're on, I just sent you an invite. Just hit that thick link and it will bring you in.
Also,
You know-
Andrew,
you know
you do
how
have
he is.
something to contribute. You have two things to contribute.
Oh, yes, kittens, if they'll come to me. Come here. Come here. No, They're distracted.
Andrew
With
has
a-
2 new kittens.
Yes.
Mhm.
Do you have any photos of them or video?
I do have photos and video. Let me set that up.
All right. Well, you do that.
I
Hey,
do
dude-
want to apologize. My new schedule, I'm still getting used to it. It was my first week, and I just slept through everything.
We figured.
Yeah, you did. We figured.
I'm still working on that. I will do better.
DJ Phil Collins says, "Oh, no wonder you're exhausted. You're a new mom." So yeah, you have 2. Did you settle on names for the kittens yet?
Yes, I have a little black one named Soot. My little Soot Sprite. And if you've ever seen a Ghibli movie, you know what a Soot Sprite is. And then the cream-colored one is named Opie.
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 Yes.
Where did Opie come from?
Andy
Opium,
Griffith show,
duh.
apparently.
What is?
Oh,
Goalie!
look, an actual
Hey.
host that's on time.
No, he's not. Well, he's only on time because I just sent him the link.
I mean,
His
yeah.
announcement.
You
Goalie's
sent an
in the
invite
his
and here he is.
Hey, what's up? So, how's the weather? How's the hurricane hitting you?
It went up and around us.
No
joke. No joke. It come up and it hit Connecticut and Rhode Island pretty hard, and it started drifting towards Boston. Then it went up and completely around us. Completely around us. Like
Oh,
someone was
God.
casting a spell.
There they are. There's Soot and Opie, the new babies in the house.
I was gonna say this is
That's your
unlike any
house or whose
hurricane I've
house?
ever seen.
Andrew just got new kittens.
Yes, I just got new kittens.
I got some videos like this of pussies if you'd like me to share.
No. God.
We'd like to be monetized one day.
No.
We're in hot water with everyone.
I
Yeah,
got 'em-
Facebook has banned us. You knew about that, right?
that one time, yeah, you were playing the Sony clips and they banned you.
No, it wasn't Sony clips. It was
the
I'd say
Olympics, the
1 minute,
Olympics.
16 minutes of the Olympics.
And
In a legitimate news way, a fair
And
news
what's
method.
sad is that when Facebook knocked you off, that knocked off the only 4 people that were watching the Olympics at that point. So
Yeah, that's true. So, yeah, DJ Collins says, "Man, even the hurricanes avoid Boston."
oh
traffic."
my gosh, yeah, we like literally. I get up first thing this morning, went down, I got gas, and like I said, just get gas in the car. My friend from Connecticut, he says they're telling us we could be 3 weeks without power. So he said he filled up his bathtub full of gas. You know.
So yeah,
So-
you were all prepared.
Oh yeah. We had. I got gas. I got donuts. I got anything I needed to get through a few days, and Yeah, we did a Digital to Dice today. Yep, we did a episode 102. We've done 102 episodes of
Your
Digital to
show
Dice.
is growing
Damn.
so fast.
We've had some great guests on, and one of our shows we had a big guy in our industry. I was telling you the other day, and that episode it blew away any episode we did, and we get 300 to 600 listens, which was decent for us. We're a small community. We got like 1,500 because we had this one guy on that just did all this stuff, and we were like, "Holy cow, it's unbelievable!"
Nice.
But it's going okay. I mean, it's nice. I've actually helped work on games, because I've played games and people are like, "Hey, I'm putting out an expansion. How would you like to test this for me?" I was like, "Okay." I just say, "Show me the money," and then no, they don't. But they give me free games. I get free games.
When the fuck did you get that thing?
This thing. What?
Do we need to get you a grill now?
All right. Let's get serious. All right. So, what have you guys been talking about? Yeah, they call me the Lone Ranger.
The goalie has that, but not because of the show or anything. That's just his personal mask
Yeah.
that he
Oh
loves.
yeah.
Well, they were telling us because we might lose part of it to charge all of our devices. So, Sharon,
Oh God.
is that never mind. So,
I'm glad that did you get any rain or anything?
oh yeah. So after I went out and I got gas and I come home and we're like waiting it out to see which way it's gonna go. All of a sudden, the sky opened up and the trees were swaying. I was like, oh, here it comes. We're gonna get nailed. And then it just kind of stopped, and that's all we got. And I was like waiting for the next round, and it didn't happen. And even the weather guy in the league was like, "We're gonna get killed," and we didn't. And I was like, "Whoo, we got
Yeah,
lucky."
hurricanes, you cannot predict their paths. I mean,
No.
you can have a pretty good guess, but they really have minds of their own.
I thought, and I was talking to somebody today about this. So the hurricane's coming in and it's spinning, right? If there's a way that you could build this huge concrete wall, wouldn't that like kill the wind and kill the storm? Because it can't whip around. It would hit the wall and like kind of end. It would peter out. I
It's
would
too
think.
high up. It's like way up in the atmosphere.
We know, like
Yeah.
how they put those barricades in on the beaches, so it breaks the waves up and it breaks the water up. Those things that look like cement crosses
Right.
that they put on like islands and stuff. So I was like, boy, if you can do something like that with the
Yeah,
wind,
but you have to be so high because you're talking about in the atmosphere at the cloud level.
Yeah, but you just want to be concerned with the wind on the ground. Go up 120, 200, 200 feet.
Yeah, but if it's just going to blow over the top of it, then it's just going to blow over and come down. It's not like it's the stuff on the ground is not where the business is.
The wall would have to be, I think, too large. Not necessarily. I think I get what you're saying, just to break up the wind and not
just kind of think of some way to stop the force of it. It's kind of
it would have to be higher than the highest size skyscrapers in Miami. You think about it, because that's the skyscraper. There's a lot of skyscrapers in Florida, and all of them get hammered.
I've been drinking with a few of those. We all got hammered.
I was in Tulum, Mexico, a week after Hurricane Vilma came through, like 10 years ago. And we have to fly. In order to go to Tulum, you have to fly into Cancun. And we flew into Cancun, and it was fucked up. And, the hotels in Cancun are big. And, there were whole hotels, like it was just walls. All the windows were gone. Everything inside had been blown out and on the big. So it was you just
wind does damage. We brought in everything, like everything that was on the deck, any chair, anything that could move, we brought in, and it's just you don't leave anything to chance, and just you hope that the neighbor doesn't leave out like a tricycle or any kind of scooter like that'll fly through the air, And I remember the story as a kid that there was a tornado that was so powerful it drove a piece of straw 2 inches into a tree. Think about that. A piece of straw going 2 inches into a tree. Imagine how fast you got to be going, for that to happen.
It's like a bullet.
Yeah.
DJ Collins says it'd be cheaper to give Miami a crew cut and build a shorter wall. What do you mean by a crew cut? Like everybody in Miami a crew cut?
It's
Like the
probably
crew?
some deep cut from like the 20s, for all I know.
Yeah.
No.
So, other than that, how are you? How's things with you in general?
Things are going okay, I guess. You know, as long as I'm working, I'm happy. When I was out of work, I was very unhappy. But now that I'm working again and you know, walking the dog again and playing hockey again and going to the gym and doing all those fun things there, you know, it's you know, like we talked about, it's like you spend the 20s, 30s, and 40s living it up and abusing your body, and then you wake up and you're 50 something, you're like, you know, I need to live in this thing a little while longer. So it might make sense to kind of change the oil and you know rotate the tires a little bit, and so
Yep.
so you become smarter when you get our age.
Yeah, Bitter says we need to be living in hobbit houses.
Ooh, underground, that's an idea.
Yeah, well, I mean, given what's going on in California right now, I mean, it's actually blue sky today, which is the first time in how long has it been, Nick, since we've had blue sky instead of brown skies?
Oh, you had the fires out
I
there,
don't
right?
know.
We have
I'm
here's
south enough that I haven't had like
oh
too
yeah,
many
no, we had
bad
brown
things.
skies. Like you go out and the moon comes up and the moon is red, like blood red. It hasn't been close to the ground. Like the air quality has been okay, not great, but okay on the coast. But you could see that all of the smoke is up in the atmosphere because
Oh,
every
that's
like the
messed
sun
up.
is brown, the moon is brown, is a blood red.
Oof.
And you know, let me give you a preview of what next week's news is going to be out of California is that one of those fires is going to hit South Lake Tahoe, and that's going to be bad. We got a fire that's just south of South Lake.
Oh,
South Lake
man.
Tahoe
Is
is a
it?
huge destination,
Ooh.
huge tourist destination.
That sucks. We had a notification on our phones 3-4 weeks 5 weeks ago about bad air quality, and it was from one of the fires that had drifted across the country. And I don't know if it was Montana or Oregon or something, but there was a big fire.
Or it was
And
Oregon and California. It was the Dixie
it,
fire, which is still burning. It's now 750,000
and
acres.
that come all the way over here. And
Mhm.
you, when you went outside, you could see it and you could smell it. And it's like, wow, this is weird that it blew in like
Yeah,
this.
New Jersey
Yeah.
was really complaining. It's like, what are you? What are we going
I'm
to do?
surprised
about
it barely affected their air quality.
Yeah, it did. It was you.
It made New Jersey air quality a little bit better.
We
Yeah,
had
it's
gorgeous
improved- it
air
improved
here
it.
that week.
No, we had that same thing, and it was like just hazy. Like you'd go outside and there's this constant like fog.
Yeah,
and
it was.
just
Yeah,
like,
it was a haze. Yep. Yeah, that's what it was. But the good thing for New Jersey, you couldn't smell Snooki anymore. You know, at least for a couple of days. I miss Snooki. She was so
No,
good.
I don't.
Do
I
you?
don't.
Do you really?
I do. I miss all those people.
No.
The situation. Come on.
Oh,
Nick
situation.
reminds me
I
of
am
the situation.
amazed.
Such an
I am
embarrassment to
guy
the
here.
human race.
This guy
How
is the
much you
situation.
can remember their names, that you still remember them.
I never watched an episode.
What
but
were the two
I
guys? It was the situation, and who was the other one? I think it was the situation that just spent all his money on on buying like alcohol companies and went out of business. Didn't
was it?
understand that their 15 minutes of fame would come up, like would end.
No one
I-
ever
I-
does.
clearly.
No one ever does.
Yeah.
I only know Snooki. She's the only one who made it. So
She made it
I
on
have
South
nothing.
Park too, I think. So if you make it on South Park, you made it. That's the thing.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's true. That's why you have
Yeah.
the name.
So now,
recognition.
so just to catch up with everybody, do you guys all have like the PS5s and the Xbox, whatever it is now, all the new stuff?
Nick and I do. Andrew doesn't, but he does have the 3080 graphics card and
Mhm.
a badass computer now.
yeah.
Okay.
Which is the 3080 is the equivalent of getting a PlayStation 5 because it's also being hammered by scalpers. So yeah, I mean, Nick and I both have the Xbox Series X and the PlayStation 5.
I didn't follow it all, but I do remember hearing like it was in stock, then out of stock, and people were ordering it, and the orders were getting canceled, and it was messed up, and so yeah, so that was just kind of I didn't follow this. I just turned on my PlayStation the other day after 6 months just to update the software, you know, for some whatever I was doing. But yet I haven't played much. I'm interested in that game you guys were showing off last week, the Left 4 Dead clone. I'm interested in
Back to
that.
Blood.
And anytime there's a new what was it, Call of Duty or any of those that come out with a campaign. I like to play the campaigns, so I might get something like that.
Yeah,
So
we were talking about who is it? Halo Infinite is not going to have a multiplayer campaign, at least on release.
Yeah, not co-op.
So I looked into like the community response to Back for Blood, and it was surprisingly pretty mixed. You had a camp of people who were like, "Yeah, this was fun. It's a little rough," and I think I see where they're talking about. In that Back for Blood, we've talked about how its difficulties are a little rough around the edges. Like it's super easy, or then it gets really hard.
Right.
And I think it would benefit from a hard challenge that didn't really rely on cards, because it seems like Veteran, you really have to have cards to play. And that seems to be a consensus, is that the difficulty spike's a little too strong. And then you have a camp of people who are like, this is not Left 4 Dead. Like, you marketed this for Left 4 Dead. This is not it. We're angry about this.
Really? What about it? Did they not think that it was Left 4 Dead enough?
The people who still play Left 4 Dead and the people who love Left 4 Dead, for them, like, the areas weren't open enough. The shooting mechanics weren't exactly smooth. The movement wasn't as smooth in Left 4 Dead. But part of that is because in Back 4 Blood, you have cards that adjust your stats. And that it plays a big role in how you move and how you aim and how you shoot. So, like, there's aiming down sight speeds, there's damage, there's how quickly you move while sprinting and stuff like that. So, the characters are meant to be a little bit rough.
And not made by Valve, as Blood Reaper points out.
Well, Left 4 Dead 1, I guess, had Valve as a publisher, but the same people made it. So, like, the fact that it wasn't a direct clone, like, it wasn't Left 4 Dead 3 that they were expecting. There is a portion of the community that's upset about that, and the fact that it doesn't have a versus campaign, which a lot of people loved.
That would have been nice. The campaign was so good, yeah.
They have
everything about Left 4 Dead 1 was fantastic.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, I was watching some videos on YouTube, and there was a couple of, I think there were women gamers, women journalists that were complaining that games are too hard. And the videos of these people, they were hammering them. They're like, this is the problem. There's too many wimps out there that want to play easy mode, and that's wrecking our video games. And I'm like,
yeah,
I want to play easy mode. I'm old. I don't have the dexterity anymore. I just want to play. And they're like, yo, you're not man enough if you can't play on the hardest difficulty, and you shouldn't be playing video. I'm like, no, I want to play. I just want to enjoy it. Right. And, you know, the last video game I played was at X-Wing Squadrons on the PlayStation.
Oh yeah, Star Wars.
And I was on easy puss mode, and there was one mission I couldn't complete, and I had to leave the game. I couldn't get by it. I tried 20 times, and that's about it. Then I said, give me my dice tower. I'm rolling dice tonight. I'm done with the video games. That was the last one I played. Yeah.
I remember trying that one too, and I had a lot of trouble with it. But that's just because
you have to take on a Star Destroyer. You have to take on a Star Destroyer, and I couldn't figure out how to take on a Star Destroyer without dying. Silly me. Take on a Star Destroyer and not die. What was I thinking? That should have been easy, right? No, it wasn't. And then I watched somebody on YouTube do it, and I'm like, I did that, and I still died. What do I do now? Because I can't drop the difficulty down anymore. I'm on 0. So, Nick, is that Rodan behind you?
No, that's a Colossus from Shadow of the Colossus.
Oh, is it? I thought it was Rodan.
I mean, it is a flying bird, which is kind of what Rodan is. So, yeah, it kind of is Rodan.
That was great. The last Godzilla movie and then Godzilla vs. King Kong, they were phenomenal.
Yeah,
I like that stuff.
I did not like the last one, King of the Monsters, but Godzilla vs. Kong was fun. I really
thought it was pretty good because Boston got destroyed. Fenway Park got destroyed.
Oh, yeah, it did in King of the Monsters.
Yeah, they went to Boston. Right. They ripped that town up. That was good. And you play on normal. See, I if there's something less than normal, I play on less than normal. I just want the experience.
Right.
I do. I just like to play and just. That's the beauty about it. Just, you know, and we talk a lot about on
you will like I think the what's the standard? What were the 3 levels in Back 4 Blood? Standard, Veteran, and Nightmare.
Survivor.
Yeah. Survivor, Standard, and then
Survivor, Veteran, and Nightmare.
Yeah.
So yeah, Survivor mode in it was easy almost to a fault. It is definitely, you would be able to do it. I mean, as long as you got into a group with people.
Mhm.
And I had no problems finishing stuff even with really bad groups. But the veteran, the next step up is
It's such a jump.
such a jump.
See, I thought it was a nice balance. I thought it was good.
I think
But
they need
you've
something
always been real good at that, Nick, though, because you play these games on like ultra
Yeah, I
super
guess that's
hard,
true.
and
Not
I
all the
last like
time,
5.
not
I
all the
last
time.
5 seconds. You're like, oh, geez, I finished that on super hard. I'm like, dude, I can't
I
even
did it
get
with
out
my
of the
eyes closed.
I can't get
What are
out
you
of the
talking
front
about?
door. It was tough. I mean, Edie will tell you, it's real tough after playing game for so many years to be our age and say, I can't keep up
Yeah.
with you young guys, and I need to turn the difficulty down. It hurts our pride, and we've been doing it a long time. But I tell you, give us an Atari 2600 joystick, we'll kick your ass all day long.
Yeah,
But
I'm not.
put us with 9 buttons, and you got to hit 6 of them at a time. We're not
So
playing
there
that
was a
game.
game that I did jump into while I was waiting for Warframe to update last night before I got sick, and it was God of War. And I played it in, not the bottom easiest mode, the next one up. Like there was a mode of I just want a story.
I think I played that one, the one up.
And I was just in the like tutorial section. I'm like, I'm getting my ass kicked. Do I really need to go down?
I think I bumped. I was not on the bottom mode for that. I says I'll go with this mode as long as I can, and I think I either got it or got right to the end when I had to drop it down. That was fantastic, by the way. That last God of War for PS4 was fantastic.
Edie, I recommend playing on the easiest if you just want to experience the story, because that is a game that is a high skill ceiling. Like I did the opposite. I was playing it at my friend's, and we played it together. And we're just tossing it back and forth whenever we die a certain amount of times. We put it on the hardest difficulty the very first time we played it. We tried to complete the tutorial on that first zombie, like your basic ass enemy. It took us an hour and a half to beat the first time.
Oh, God.
And then once we would find a strategy that worked against it, we're like, all right, and we killed it. We're like, yeah, we can move on, because they're not telling you all the mechanics yet, because they expect you to just light attack this thing to death. Well, we didn't. We had to learn all the mechanics to beat the one guy, because it's the hardest difficulty. And then it dies and 3 more spawn in the tutorial. And we're just like, but we had a decent strategy, so that only took 30 minutes. So the first 2 fights took 2 hours to beat.
Oh, God.
See, I'm not like that. I want to play the game. I don't need to spend an hour on one section of the game just to say, yeah, I beat it on hard. I want to play the game. I'm impatient. I just want to play through it. I'm in the area. If I die a couple times, that's fine. Okay, maybe but at some point, it's like, man, I just kind of, I've done this. I've proven I can die. I just want to get through this part and see what else the game has to offer. And if I can't do that, then I can't see your game. And, so, yeah. So I was kind of bummed I saw that. But, what we did talk about today on my podcast was we were talking about sales, and do sales help sell a game? And you would think that, yes, it would, but it really all depends on the game and how much the sale is. If it's just 10% off a game you're not interested in, it's not going to sell you the game. And so I was talking about a couple games that I bought that were 50% off that I had like a slightly interested in, but for 50% off, I'll take it. A game that I'm wicked interested in, 10% off, I'll take it. If I'm not interested and you give it at 95%, like there's a couple of Steam games I have, and I remember talking about this on the show with you guys. If there was a Steam game under $5 that was on sale in my wish list, if I didn't buy it, there was one day I went and said, if I'm not going to buy this, then I'm getting rid of it, because it ain't going to be cheaper than $4.99 or $1.49. And I had all these $1.49 games on sale. It's like, damn it, I either buy it or I get. What am I waiting for? It's $1.49. Or it's
if you're not going to buy it at
$2.25.
that price,
Exactly.
You don't really want it.
If I'm not going to buy it at that price, then I'm not going to buy it. So I either bought it or I get rid of it. But we were talking today about one game that I bought that I felt bad. I bought it. It was a video game. I bought it for $20, and I loved it. And it was one of the best games I played on the PlayStation, and I only paid $20 for it, and I felt so guilty because the games are $60. I didn't buy it at $60. I didn't buy it at $40. It went on sale for $20, and I was like, for $20, it's on sale. I will get it at $20, and I loved it. And that game was Horizon Zero Dawn.
Yeah,
and
that's a good one.
I felt so bad that I only spent $20 on it, because that game was a gem. But when I first saw it, man, if you remember you talking about Horizon Zero Dawn, when I was like, okay, so I got a
dinosaurs,
robotic
mechanical
dinosaurs and
dinosaurs?
cave
Fuck
people.
no.
It's like I love futuristic movies, but I'm not buying. No, thank you. But for $20, I will try it. And it was fantastic. And I still feel guilty that I only spent $20 in that game because that's a $60 game. It was so good. But then I've spent $60 on other games and went, man, right in the track. And especially when you're buying digitally, you're screwed.
On games and
You're
been like,
screwed.
what was
Yeah.
I thinking?
This
Pretty
game
much
is terrible.
every time that I buy the Supreme
edition of
Edition, the
something?
special editions, it's
Yeah.
usually ends up being a disappointment. What were the ones? Destiny. I bought the collector's edition.
Destiny was
No Man's Sky. I bought
okay.
the collector's edition.
Yeah. We talked about No Man's Sky today, too, on the show. Like I said, we're a card and dice game. We talked about No Man's Sky and how disappointed I was that I spent $60 on that sucker. And then a year and a half later, it was a phenomenal game. And they just did all the update, and it didn't cost any more to update it. And it turned, I still like to jump on once in a while, fly around space. It's so relaxing.
Yeah.
It really is. So that's probably the only game I can think of that come out as a complete dud, and they wanted to, tar and feather the guy, and then next thing you know, people now love the game.
Oh,
Now Anthem, I never played Anthem. I didn't even know it come out because all I heard about Anthem. Every time we went to PAX, every time we had a PlayStation conference or whatever, Anthem. And then all of a sudden it's like, hey, Anthem's out, and it sucked, and no one bought it. Oh,
Yeah, I think I played the demo and I didn't really like it.
Yeah,
I
did I play the demo? I can't remember. I think I did play the demo and realized, oh, this is not good.
See, I didn't mind the demo because it felt very much just like playing the multiplayer in Mass Effect. Like, it was basically the same mechanics and feel.
I remember I didn't like it because enemies kept spawning behind you.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like, because it's a flying game, 360, you're focused on firing at one guy, and it's annoying enough when enemies spawn behind you, but now you've also got them spawning above you and to the side. It's like, that's
the one you could fly, right? You could fly in that one.
I would have liked to see that game really fix itself. I was excited for the rework.
Not yet. I think No Man's Sky set unrealistic expectations.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I think we now know that EA will never stick to a game long term. Like, they will never fix something.
But they advertised No Man's Sky to be something completely different than what it was when it released. A year or two later, it now was that. But they said, hey, it's going to be this. And it come out and it's like, it's not this. And we don't like this.
So what
they fixed it.
But we only played 40 hours of it to figure out we don't like it.
Shut up.
What happened with No Man's Sky, though, was they lost about a year or two of work when they had a fire in their studio. So essentially, they had this crazy schedule to keep for Microsoft.
That's right. I did forget about that.
So it was basically E.T. Yeah. There you go. Is E.T.
Yeah. Except they actually stuck with it and they didn't just bury it in the desert. It's fine.
You know, I told you I've been watching you guys on the new TV we got. We got a it's only 55-inch. We had a 50-inch plasma, and it was like 10 years old, and the thing was hot.
Only 55.
It was so hot.
Big.
But what I say, I mean, it's hard to find a 55 because they want to sell you 65s and 75s now when you go into Best Buy. And so we had this plasma she got years ago for upstairs, and it was okay. It was a 1080p. It was really hot, and in the summertime, it just made the house so hot because it's just a hot plasma, and it started to get a little bit of burn in. So I was like, all right. So we went out. So we got a 4K, 55-inch 4K. So it's just a tiny bit bigger, really nice 4K. So I hooked up her PlayStation, and I forgot that the original PlayStation is not 4K. Mine is. The PS4 Pro is. And I'm kind of bummed out because I said, oh, let me show you how good Diablo's going to look. Diablo 3. So we fired up Diablo 3. It was 1080p. I'm like, son of a bitch. So I'm tempted to, I don't even know if they sell PS4 Pros anymore, so I could get some 4K going upstairs, but so I could play some Diablo 3 because that's one game I still enjoy. I played that a little bit. That was fun.
Yeah, they're doing the Diablo 2
playing it on a
remastered
bigger
as well.
screen makes it look better.
Oh yeah, and the thing is, it's so clear now. You can read all the dialogue and all the menus, And that was the killer. I mean, I played on the 720 for years, and I would go upstairs, and she had the 1080. I'm like, holy cow, look how clear your menus are, compared to 720. It's like, really, I'm squinting, getting up. I literally get off the couch and go up to the TV. I'm like, okay, so I need 2 reds and 3 greens. Okay, got it. And go back.
Yeah,
to
I remember trying to play Kerbal Space Program on a 720, and it was like, oh, I will never ever be able to play this game because I can't get through the tutorial because I can't read them.
The fact,
yes, yeah. And you remember The Witcher? Their menus were like they were this big.
Yeah.
And then
didn't they have to patch that or something?
They did. They patched it several times, and finally they said we're gonna make our menus so you can read them. And then they finally were this big with big fonts. It's like, man, they did a lot of work when The Witcher 3 come out because they fixed a lot of things.
There you go. The link bitch has the link. PlayStation 4 Pro to 1 terabyte console.
Edie, the fact that you had a 720p like till 2018 was insane to me. Like, you did not upgrade your
That was
TV
a badge of honor. She used to brag about that. She's 2 in stock.
Kevin kept on wanting to buy a new TV every year, and I'm like, no, I'm not buying a new TV. This is fine. And finally, it was like, you know what? This is. I think actually the plasma did die. It finally died.
That's what did it.
Yeah, it actually, I think half the screen actually just went out, or there was a big band in the screen. It's like, all right, now.
Okay, I'll tell you what. Whenever I upgraded to a new TV, I'll give you this old one.
No,
I've
I've got
12K?
I've got a 4K right now.
Okay.
Oh, nice. Okay.
I think it's a 4K. I don't know.
Might be 3K. Maybe 3K.
2.5.
It's a threek, not a fork.
I went to a Super Bowl party a few years ago, and they're like, "Yeah, come on over Super Bowl. We'll have wings and a whole bit." It was my sister-in-law, so we went over her house, right? And she's got she had a widescreen TV, right? She had like basic cable, and it was SD. Have you ever seen SD on a widescreen TV? It's like plugging in your PS2 to a widescreen TV, and I'm just like, yeah.
Why do you have the TV when you only have an SD cable package?
I mean, you can watch movies and stuff, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, if you got a DVD player.
Yeah.
But it was just like, oh, wow, this is tough to watch. My eyes hurt. I'm going to watch it on my phone in the other room. Thank you. I'm like this. Oh, look how clear this is. So, no, I don't know if I'm going to get the new consoles. Are they backwards compatible? Any of them?
Yeah, they both are. To varying degrees, but for the most part, like, yeah.
So if I got a PS5, I could play PS4?
Yeah.
Most of them, like 90% of their catalog.
Really?
Anything that you want to play, you'll be able to play.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I'm going to go on a limb, Goalie, and I'm going to say you want an Xbox.
Okay.
And the reason why is Game Pass.
Yeah, I saw the Game Pass had a ton of games. And I was like, boy, if I still play video games, the Game Pass is the way to go. You would probably never need to buy. If you get that and EA Pass, then you'd probably never have to buy anything.
There has been one game, in fact, just recently, one game that I wanted to buy for the PC, and I thought, if it's coming out if it's out on PC, it's eventually going to come to Game Pass, and sure enough, it came to Game Pass. I held off, came to Game Pass.
Does the new
no, it was I know Back for Blood. I didn't know it was coming to Game Pass. Otherwise, I would not.
No, I'm just mentioning it to Goalie. Back for Blood. If you want to play that without putting money into that, it'll be on Game Pass as well.
Okay, and how much was that? Like $100 a year? Is it more than that, or?
Yeah, it's more. It's like $15 a month.
Yeah,
$15 a month of Game Pass. Okay,
so
the new Xbox
like
is any of that backwards compatible?
Yeah,
the Xbox is more backwards compatible than.
Can it play some 360 games maybe?
Yeah, that's the whole. They did a whole thing where all of last cycle was them adding 360 games.
I actually downloaded a 360 game from the Xbox store, and I downloaded it from Game Pass and played it because it was an EA game, and all the EA stuff is on that.
Because I still play some of the 360 games, and I know they're not all backwards compatible, but there's still some I do.
Well, a lot of them are on Game Pass, and
do you know what I did? That was neat.
What they're populating Game Pass with is the 360 games and the Xbox One games that are upgraded for the PlayStation 5. I mean, the Xbox 5. I mean, Xbox Series X.
Oh, they're upgraded. Ooh, this is tempting now to look at this. You know what I did actually is I found out how to what do you call it when you play something on your computer?
Computer game?
No, what's that software and interpolation thing? Emulation.
DirectX?
Emulation.
Okay.
I found out how I see all my PlayStation games up in the corner and all the ones behind me over here. I found a site and a YouTube channel that showed you how to set up emulation for your PS2 games, and you burn the
Oh.
PS2 disc that you have. So I didn't steal anything. Okay, it's all legit. So there's a burner. So I burn the disc into the emulation software, and now I can play PS2 here on this PC here, and it looks way better. It's not 1080p or 4K, but compared to like if you put in a disc into a PlayStation and put it into a TV monitor or whatever, it's way better. It's like, oh my gosh, this is fantastic. So I burned a ton of PS2 games, and they're not that big compared to the new stuff. And so I can play PS2 now on my computer, and I figured it out. I figured it out. It was kind of cool.
So
All right, so
yeah,
this is Game Pass, right?
This is Game Pass, all the Game Pass games, which are all free to use. And I'm trying to think. Let's see. Let's go to what do I have to do to? I want 200 games per page.
How many pages? Oh, 600 games on there.
All of them.
Oh, there's some good ones on. And so this is Xbox 5 now?
This is essentially
Okay,
the
so
Xbox
the new
Series
one.
X. Yeah.
Okay, so you got the
Let's
Dooms
see.
and your
So
Dragon. Oh, Donut Country.
all the Destinies are on there. Dead Space is on there. All the 360 games there.
Dead Space 3 was kind of fun. Dante's Inferno was fun too. Ooh.
Crisis games.
Crackdown 3, nice. Oh wait, I don't know if I played Crackdown 3. I played Crackdown 2.
Crackdown 2, right?
That was a
Crackdown
good one.
3. I don't. Yeah, I'm not really quite sure. Did we? Any of us
Bejeweled?
play?
Nice.
Bejeweled was on there?
Oh yeah, but you.
Crackdown 3
Battlefield.
was in development
All the
hell.
Battlefields.
Yeah, I didn't
Like-
play 3.
It was in development hell for years,
Bad
and then
I still go
suddenly
back
it,
and play those campaigns a lot on the Battlefields. Alice, I think I bought Alice. So I think I
I
have that
tried
one.
playing
I never played it.
Battlefield.
There's Xbox One games too.
Crimson
Oh, wow.
Skies. Nice.
I tried playing Bad Company multiplayer. There's no one playing it.
Yeah,
Like,
we
you
went
have
in
to-
there.
You can go back and play the campaigns, but you try to play some of those. Old
I still
multiplayer
miss
games.
Gears of War 3 playing the monster mode. There's nobody playing that anymore. I want to play as the ticker and run around and blow things up and then get the boomer going. Then boom! I used to love that, and no one
The
plays
new
that anymore.
Games at least have that same mode. They better have that same mode. They have to have that.
Did I ever tell you the story about the Gears of War that I was supposed to get the code for? Did I ever tell you that story? How I ordered it and I was supposed to get the codes for the other games?
Fucker. So yeah, they have all the Gears of Wars.
I don't think I played 5 yet.
5 is
Those
really
are fun.
good.
Those are fun to grind. They really are.
Including the Ultimate Edition and Gears Tactics.
I didn't play Gears Tactics. Golf with your friends is fun, but I don't think is that the one I'm thinking about?
What?
No. There's another golf game that was great, but it wasn't multiplayer. I'm like, well, then no thanks.
Is that the-
Heavy
no.
Weapon I played Heavy Weapon. That was pretty good. I never played Hello Neighbor. Did you guys ever play that?
I didn't play it, but I want to.
I
It's
played
my
it
kind
at
of game.
PAX, but I played like a really early build version of it, and it was okay. I feel like I didn't actually. I played it too soon. I feel like they
Wow,
were
it's
showing
got
it
the
too soon.
Madden NFL 20. Maneater. I wanted to play Maneater too. Be the Shark. That looked great.
Yeah, I wasn't that impressed.
You didn't like
Well,
it?
I mean, it's pretty good for essentially a Game Pass game, though.
Yeah.
Like,
If I'd
Yeah,
have bought it,
pretty
I would have
awesome.
been angry.
Oh, Mech Warriors on there?
Yep, Mech Warriors 5.
I have some of the old Mech Warrior games. I think of the original Xbox.
did you like Minecraft? Goalie?
I never. I tried it and it just wasn't for me.
I think you might like Minecraft Dungeons. It's essentially Diablo, but with a Minecraft like aesthetic.
I saw some people build some incredible hockey rinks in Minecraft. Let me tell you. Like I saw the videos and they build like stadiums. It was like,
You
wow,
play
this is impressive.
NHL 94.
Yeah, I would play that. I would. Yeah.
You would totally play that.
I still got to do. I have all the Sega hockey games, and there's like 15 of them, and I want to do a series on my YouTube channel about them, and I just haven't yet. But that's in there, obviously. Oblivion. I would go back. I went back and started Oblivion again after playing Skyrim. Oblivion made a hell of a lot more sense.
You could play Peggle. Fuck.
I could
With
go back
Jaeger.
to Oblivion.
Dun, 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 dun.
Dude,
Peggle was
Peggle
fun.
was great.
Peggle was a great game, but
Peggle
man,
was only good if you didn't play with
Jaeger.
who was it? Yeah,
Shot of
Jaeger.
Jaeger.
No, never did that. That was worse.
Peggle Party.
Why?
He was too good.
Rage.
He was too
He was
good
like
at it, and
pinpoint
he
perfect every
insisted
shot.
on
It's
everybody on having a Peggle party.
It's like, well, I can't play this with him.
I think I played Rage. I didn't finish it, but Rage was pretty good. What else is on here? Rise. Oh, I had Rise. It was. I never finished it. It was fun to swing a sword, but that was about
Shadow
it.
Warrior 2. Wasn't that the game that you really liked? Shadow Warrior?
Oh, yeah. Was it? Yeah, was that the one? Yeah, that was terrible compared to the first one. It was
was it?
watered down. It really was. Sniper Elite's okay.
Sniper Elite.
Oh, SnowRunner looked like it might be kind of fun. SSX.
SnowRunner is
That's-
a little dense. SnowRunner is like you gotta read a lot of text.
Oh, forget it.
That's a heavy game.
I still play Battlefront now. They come up with a couple of new modes for that Battlefront. I really liked. They got squadrons. I have squadrons.
Subnautica. You would love Subnautica.
I think I saw that and it made me dizzy when I watched that.
Oh, I could see that making, actually, I could see it making you dizzy.
I think if that's the game I'm thinking of.
Tales of
The Bard's Tale
Vesperia.
looks good.
Great.
Bard's Tale looks good. Couple of Bard's Tales. I always want to go back and play those, and I never did. The Dark Crystal. Is that from the movie?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah,
Get
it
me
is.
his
That's
essence.
from the show.
That's great. Oh, the Skyrim. There's like 1,000 Skyrims.
Oh, yes. That's
In
I
the
should
Skyrim.
go back
Morrowind.
to Morrowind. That's what I should do.
I didn't care for Morrowind.
God, you
Me-
know what? I don't think I've ever have I played Morrowind?
I
may not
distinctly
have.
remember back when I worked at Macy's in men's shoes, I would be like standing there doing a closing shift, no one around, because no one went shopping for shoes like at 9 o'clock on a weekday. So I'm just
Were
sitting,
you Al Bundy? You were friggin' Al Bundy.
I'm just standing there going, God damn it, I could be playing Morrowind.
I sell
I
shoes.
could be playing Morrowind here, and I was just like, fuck, I'm gonna go
Whatever
home and
happened
just
to the old
kill
Dodge?
Morrowind.
All the Walking Deads. Rainbow Six
Titanfall.
Sieges, the deluxe
Titanfall
edition.
2. Oh my gosh. Torchlight 3. That looks interesting.
It's
what-
Tropico 6. That's the one that I held off from actually buying on PC
Mm-hmm.
because I was thinking it was going to come to Game Pass, and it came to Game Pass.
Oh, nice. Viva Pinata. Remember that?
Oh God, really? Oh man, I might go back to Viva
I
Pinata.
remember we
I
played
really
that at a
liked it.
PAX fairly recently because they had a 360 with that game in it in a
Yeah.
room.
Mrs. Goldie loved that. She played the heck out of that. Wolfenstein.
Oh, yeah,
Youngblood-
Wolfenstein.
Oh, they got all the Wolfenstein. I don't think I played the new one. I don't remember.
It's pretty good.
Boy, there's a ton of games on here, though. Huh?
All the Yakuza.
Zombie Army 4. I don't think I ever did that one.
And then that's what's
Oh,
Zuma.
3.
Zuma.
Zuma. Bro, you played a lot of Zuma.
Oh, yeah,
You and
she
Mrs.
liked that,
Foley.
too. Oh, yeah, she liked
And
the
then
Zuma.
there's Zuma's Revenge as
Oh,
well.
yeah.
But all of those are free for download on Game Pass. They're constantly moving them on and off. Yeah, it's well worth it because especially if you're just gonna dive in and
You
just
can't play
it.
Left 4 Dead on the new system, right?
Mm-mm.
Left 4 Dead's not
Mm.
backwards compatible.
Left
I don't
4
think so.
No, wait, yeah. If you have a disc, you should be able to stick it in there and play it. There's no reason. I mean, you might have trouble finding someone to play it with, but you know the way those consoles work. There's no reason if you have a disc that you shouldn't be able to stick it in there and play.
I guess you have to see if it's backwards compatible.
Yeah.
I mean, it should be especially with the Xbox. Like the hardware just.
I
The
think
games
two,
should
I
just
think
work.
2 was. I think Left 4 Dead 2 was the one that was backwards compatible, but not 1.
AC Wraith, Blood Reaper says Maneater has new DLC coming out if it's not already out. AC Wraith says Neoverse is a good deck building roguelike.
Oh, those all words I don't like.
The Dark Crystal game is based on the more recent prequel, not the original.
Oh.
With the Skeksis.
Oh, I remember the Skeksis. They scared the crap out of me. Get his essence.
And skip Torchlight 3. I loved 1 and 2, but 3 tried to go half-assed MMO route from what I remember.
Oh, went fighting? Is that MMO? Is that fighting in the cage stuff?
No, that's MMA. MMO.
Oh, I
multiplayer.
get those mixed up all the
It's
time.
multiplayer.
Silly me. That's why I went there one time all dressed up as a hobbit, and I was like, "What are these people fighting?" You know?
Such a weirdo.
I would love to see a Hobbit cheering on an MMA.
Oh, an MMO
Oh, that would be
MMA?
great.
Oh,
Oh,
that-
yeah, Hobbit
MMO
MMA?
MMA.
Oh,
That is
yes.
our next game.
MMO MMA.
Yes, where it's just all MMO characters just fighting cage matches.
No, it's
I
like
mean,
it's like GTA, where there's just an open city that you can go around in, but you just start an MMA fight with anyone.
No, Nick. Nick. Sorry. No. Sorry. No. Sit down, please. Sit down.
a fantasy MMA game might actually be pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie.
Golly, you and the fucking sound effects. Where did you get this? What box is this that you're
This is
using?
my Roadcaster. You can put sound effects on here. It works out great.
So, all right. Well, so much for an after show that was almost as long as the show.
Well, you dropped 2 new people, of course.
I mean,
not.
yeah,
When everybody shows up for the
the show-
after show.
the population doubled.
Yeah, but we
So,
got
yeah,
to go
the
back in
hardest-
time and reminisce.
Yeah,
you know?
the hardest
It was-
thing
it was-
with
it was-
the console.
It was nice. It was nice.
The hardest thing with the consoles though is to get one, to find one, because
Still, really?
Yeah, they're still pretty hard to
Unbelievable.
find.
Oh wow.
like we did console releases. We did day and date pickups. I remember us doing it for the 360 and the 5. And or the PlayStation 4. And sorry, for the PlayStation 4, not the 360, because I don't think we did it for the 1. But this console cycle, everything that was bad about releases, as far as scalpers and not having availability, it just turned it up to 11. The scalpers were
That's too bad.
organized. They had software. The bots were just crawling through, and
Uh.
they'd have 1,000 units just disappear in 3 minutes.
Yeah.
Because they had
Yeah.
just bots just running and buying everything. And
Did they come out
literally-
last November? So it's almost been a year?
Yep.
Really?
Still a
So it's
problem.
been 8-9 months and still a problem,
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
huh? Hmm.
eBay.
Hmm.
Xbox Series X. Yep. Well, they've come down a little bit.
Yeah, from 500 to
600.
750. Oh, well, okay. Yeah. what's
Really?
got a-
And so you
Buy
can't
it
get
now
them.
for 700.
Oh, yeah. No, that one has 20 bids on it too. Look for the ones with bids.
So you can't get them in stores, right? Is what you're
No.
saying.
Yeah, you can't get
you
them in
you
stores.
can. You just have to
Get real lucky.
You have to make an effort to
Right.
check
It has to
back
be your
and
full-time
do
job for a
things.
little while.
I don't know if I'd say full time. At least
But you
Uh,
have to cruise. There's Twitter accounts that track this stuff.
yeah.
And you have to be there and ready. And
You got to put in
waking up in the middle of
effort.
the night to do it.
And it's not always on there, but you can look at Newegg. They have the Newegg Shuffle. That's how I got my graphics card. They have PlayStations and Xboxes occasionally.
See,
Yeah,
those
the
are all-
PS,
those
the
are all
PS5s
buying
have come
now.
down. They're now $1,000 instead of 1,600.
I'll
Wait,
get the PS4 Pro for now.
Find one with a bid, if any of them have bids.
There's one bid for 99 cents.
That's nuts.
But
Yeah.
people
One
watching.
Oh, see, so this is heartening. Okay, one bid for 675. Like, everyone's putting it up for buy it now, but it seems like no one is actually bidding on it.
Mm-hmm.
At least for the
Here we go.
PlayStation.
3 bids. 23 bids for $715.
Wow. Yeah. No
Yeah.
thanks.
And that's the cheap version.
No thanks. I just wouldn't play it enough.
Oh yeah, the digital version doesn't even have the disc in it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, 3 bids. For
44 bids
750.
for the digital edition at $660. So it's starting to come down. It's not like it was when it was,
Wow.
$100. But there
Yeah.
are warehouses full of these things that belong to scalpers that are either they are sitting there waiting to sell them, trying to sell them like these guys are. And I think that at this point, if they haven't sold out of their stock, they're going to be fucked because clearly people aren't buying them. The other thing that people are using for is Bitcoin farming.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
That's also driving that up.
That's too bad. It just
Yeah,
it's
$610 for the digital
because
edition with 2 minutes left.
I mean, here I am thinking, okay, it's been 9 or 10 months since they've come out. Things must have settled down. Now maybe I'll look into it, but it's like, yeah, no, I'm not getting into a bidding war for something like this.
No,
Yeah.
it hasn't come down, and it won't come down for quite some time. The other thing that's driving it is
But the
chip shortage.
Xbox One Pro, whatever I have, that still has Game Pass, right? So I can still get
I
Game
think
Pass.
Yeah, and
so,
you can get a Game
yeah.
Pass on Xbox One. Absolutely. In fact, let me pull up
Yeah.
these games again because there are copy.
Now,
There's
are they
I mean, aside
available?
from the whole thing that
Are any of those available?
I think all of them should be available for the
I have the
Xbox One.
One. What's the good one? I upgraded.
One X.
Yeah, that's the one. Xbox One X. So I don't know if they still have them.
So
I
yeah,
think-
there's the play on Xbox One for the Game Pass.
Yeah,
And
everything
these are all
should
the
be
ones that-
available for
yeah.
it.
Everything with the newer stuff, I would imagine. Yeah,
I
okay.
think even the newest stuff they said would be back compatible. Like you could play on the One X.
Yeah, but not the one, just the One X. But
So
yeah,
is the-
most of this
so the
stuff
one-
is available on the Xbox One X or Xbox One.
Yeah.
So I wonder if is the Xbox One X still available? Because I would upgrade hers upstairs to play upstairs.
So
Probably.
I don't think PS5s have been used for Bitcoining, but I do remember that story about the Russian network that had all of them harvesting FIFA.
Mm-hmm.
Oh
yeah.
right, yeah, they were
That's
harvesting
right,
FIFA, not
harvesting FIFA.
Bitcoin.
Right. Yeah. Xbox One, Xbox One X, 1 terabyte, $433.
See, they only have the 1 terabyte. They don't have 2 terabyte. Oh, maybe I put an external hard drive. Maybe that's what I did.
Yeah,
online.
they don't go higher than.
Okay, so that's what I did.
Aw,
Or you could just do the Xbox Series S. Because, well, you probably want to have the disc.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It's just some options, like going over options just in case they want to get back into playing it. I could probably still use what I got, but like I say, she has the original PS4 and the original Xbox One, which I don't know which one's a 4K, which one's are better, but I know I have the better ones down here. So, ooh, Left 4 Dead 1 and 2 are backwards compatible with Xbox One Series X.
Nice.
Is with the Xbox One. Yeah, okay, so that's good to know. I would definitely do that.
All right.
Fun stuff.
I have a dog that's looking at me going, I'm supposed to be pooped at 2:00 and it is 5:00. Are we going to poop?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
nope,
Yeah.
never gonna poop.
Yeah. So, and I got people calling, as you can tell.
He's probably the dog in the other room. Hello, I had to poop. It's way past my time. I have to poop.
Yep. So I should probably close this up. It was great seeing you. I'm glad that the hurricane
Me too.
bypassed you completely.
Me too.
It
It
good
wrapped
making
around
sure
us.
that
Yeah.
Andrew is alive because there was that concern.
Oh. Sorry, I was sleeping.
Yeah, that's all right.
It slipped right through
Are
it.
you going to be having the same schedule or doing the same thing next week?
This is my schedule going forward. I'm just not used to it yet, and I will do better next week. I don't want to move times. I just first week still getting used to it. That's all.
Got it. All right, everyone. Thank you again for sticking around. If you've stuck around, the 4 people that are still sticking around for the after show, I appreciate it.
We call this the after party.
It was a little bit of an after party. So have a great night. Have a great week. Make sure that you get vaccinated. Wear your fucking masks. Wear your mask, Gully, but not the one around your face.
Hola.
Bye, guys. And we will talk to you next week. Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.